Okay, I think they should be able to hear me now. Yeah, right? Yeah. I don't know why, but my microphone just suddenly decided to not be recognized. So if you're in the channel, yeah. Okay, can hear. Thank you, Chrissy. So as I was saying, I was just cussing up a storm and saying awful things about everybody, like everybody in the channel, everybody here, but whatever. But welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're continuing our Unsettled STEM game tonight, a game that we are uh, a game that is almost over. We've got maybe like 2 sessions or so left, depending on how things go. So we're going to continue that tonight. If you don't know who we are, we play a bunch of random games on the internet. Zweihander being the most prominent ones. We play here, but we also have our own Twitch channel, twitch.tv /the Lollygaggers. You can catch us on Saturday in 2 days playing some Mutant Year Zero at 6 Central. You can catch us on Monday at 9 Central playing Vesson. You can catch me on Sunday over on twitch.tv /NotoriousDMG playing a little shadow run. So there's lots of different games you can find. And I'm always hanging out with Chuck with the Defenders of Cobalt. And
Who would like us to
and
plug
speaking,
this
oh,
in?
it's already, it's no, don't worry about it. It's taken care of. It's taken care of. Because not only should everyone go ahead and go here and buy this as I type it out in the chat. Go here, buy this. But I also got a little preview for folks. So I'm gonna come over here and you're thinking, oh, look at this, look at that. That's a great map, Jeff. I don't understand how this is previewing anything. And that's when I put this little thing up right here because it says Dan dies in the end. And this is a little zine that we've been working on for like a month or so now with the folks over at Defenders of Cobalt. All sorts of great stuff. It's available now on DriveThru RPG on itch.io. I dropped the DriveThru link. It's only 50 cents right now if you get it. And that price will go up, so you got to get it now, get it early, and then eventually it'll be in print. Right now it's just PDF, but we'll have print pretty soon. But you can find all sorts of really fun, silly, irreverent stuff in there. We've got things like amazingly awful or awesome goblins for a wonderful goblin game. We've got some stuff for a heart game that we used to play over on our channel. We got Chuck's winter chicken dinner dungeon, which is really fun. We've got a couple different monsters in there. We've got like the T-Rask. We've got what the hell is Baba Yaga, and all sorts of crazy useless magical items. So if you like silly and fun and kind of creepy in many respects content for your TTRPGs, go get the first issue of Dan Dies in the End, and be ready for the second issue. So yeah, totally prepped. Totally ready. I had it to go. I had like a little screen. It's all there. I got the links ready. And again, if you didn't see it before, you should go buy this as I type it once more in the chat. It's right there, the link. So go buy it. Okay. See? I think I did good. I think I did right. There we go. Hello. Matt, I'm assuming. Okay. So anyway, I get a raise? Wait, I was getting paid for this? What? Okay. All right. Nice. So Dan Dies in the End. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Great art, great people, and a lot of fun stuff. So everyone should go get it. It's really great, and we look forward to working on the second one. Now, if I can figure out how to switch back over to the other one. Okay, so let's get over to our game. So our game, Unsettled STEM. Thus far, we've got a group of people who sadly were present about a week and a half. It's been about a week and a half. I think this adventure's gone about a week and a half long. And it began with a wagon train getting attacked by a bunch of these feral cannibalistic ghouls who attacked you all in the middle of the night as you were traveling through this kind of strange stretch of land known as the Unsettled STEM, a place where there's no real cities or villages because nothing really ever seems to stay permanent, hence the name. And people are more nomadic and they move around in small clans or families. And you all were sadly present when a very important person within the Unsettled STEM called the Great Seer of Fallow, died. And like half the people who were there were like suddenly cursed by this wandering witch that everyone, superstitious as they are, believes has some sort of power. And they cursed you. And they said, this curse is never going to leave unless one of two things happen. Either A, you die, which we learned recently. Grant's tried to do that. That was the route he took
free.
a couple weeks ago, so
He's
he's no
no
longer
longer
cursed.
cursed.
He's dead. And then the other option is you somehow take out the entity, the creature, the people, the powers that were responsible for the death of the Great Seer, and that's what the rest of you have been attempting to do. You've managed through some good deeds to get a few NPCs and such on your side. You've got a couple people from the Pidgley clan that you helped out quite a bit. And along the way, you picked up Reed from the crows and the crockers, and penguins. Don't forget penguins, because penguins exist. What was the penguins thing? Oh yeah, that's right. They weren't cockatrices.
The cockatrices.
They were penguins. That's I should put that in the zine. I should make a penguin stat block for the zine for Zweihander. That's what we'll do. There we go. Done. Adding it to the list. Penguin. Zweihander stat block. Check. Okay. So you all had so let's see. Unfortunately, Grant's died, and as you all were recovering from his death, you were continuing to head east because you were meeting up with some of the other folks who were also cursed to go on some kind of offensive. And you've learned at this point that there might be something up in the mountains. Like there's something going on up in the mountains. You've heard about a place called Durrier's Walls where there's some kind of landslide or avalanche that had about 15 or 10 years ago, somewhere between there, like kind of crushed this place, and you recovered this weaponry that suggested this place was still active or someone had been there recently. And on your route there, like weird stuff happened at a graveyard that didn't make any sense, and eventually you tried to meet up with the folks that you were supposed to meet up with. Unfortunately, they had already left because you guys were late. You were late for the meetup, so they went up the mountain already. Only two of them came back down, and so that was Buford Crow and Zandy Sweet Jean, who you managed to save because you were at the bastion of the Fedatois, a kind of a older civilization that used to take up place here within the Unsettled stem and kind of curse the land, and hence why no one can ever settle here. So we will start up here. It is we'll put it, because it's safe, midday. You are all in this root bastion area. You have just defeated a handful of these feral ghouls, and you have access to a couple NPCs that went up the mountain and investigated some stuff. That's Buford Crow and Zandy Sweet Jean.
And don't forget Rip, Jimmy, and Rolf.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah,
Screw those guys.
We had them with us.
You did,
and not anymore.
They lived a rough life, you know. I feel bad. I feel worse for Jimmy. I had to watch the people in this party like physically rip apart his brother, and then had to a lie with you somehow. It's very weird. But anyway, midday.
Question: have we had a chance to nap?
You can, if you would like to just try to find a place for the rest of the day and take it easy. You don't necessarily have to go anywhere today if you don't want to.
Well, he told us about that cave.
Okay. So we'll start up right there. So as you kind of dust yourselves off and wipe off the blood from the fight of the feral ghouls, you meet up with Buford. You get your NPC followers along with you, the Pidgleys and such, and and you kind of talk a bit, and you ask about the cave. And he says they kind of only saw it on their way out. They kind of peeked into it, but they heard some noises, and then they ran at that point. They just kind of kept running. But they also said that they saw that the ruins of the fortress known as Durrier's Walls is not as it's sort of partially revealed. It's not as destroyed as it used to be, as if something or someone has cleaned it up, made it accessible in some way. And apparently there's a lot of feral ghoul activity around there. So what would you all like to do? You have the whole afternoon in front of you. Killed a couple ghouls. As far as you know, those are the only ones that were rooting around in the bastion here, but it's up to
I'm
you
still
guys.
moderately. Does anyone have any healing they can do?
Big Sis is the healer.
I have a bandage I can give you.
Okay. Did you have any healing done this morning before you guys left by the graveyard?
I cannot remember.
Okay. I'll be nice and say maybe you didn't. So we'll go ahead and if anybody
Yeah, I
wants.
didn't write anything down.
Okay. So go ahead and do your healing if you need to do healing.
All right. Standard. What's your?
He's
Do you need my
moderate.
bandage?
If you're moderate, it's routine.
Yes, I need your bandage.
All right, I guess I can get rid of it.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. No one saw it. It's all good. I'm rolling some initiatives. We didn't do our initiatives, so I'm knocking those out really fast for you guys.
So that is a fail. So I am going to spend a fortune point right
Okay.
off, and try
That's
that again.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And remember, while they're doing that, if you ever want to participate in the activities of the show, you can always donate some bits and give them. It's that down there at the bottom of the screen. You can spend 100 bits to give them an extra fortune point. You can spend 200 bits to give me a misfortune point, so I could do horrible things to them. Or you can spend 300 points or 300 bits if you want to like create some sort of special coincidence that somehow helps the players usually. So it could be a lot of different things, and we could be sort of creative with how we apply it. So with your reroll, that's a success, and you can move up to lightly
is.
wounded there, Sylvester.
All right.
Okay. Otherwise, the group is together. You're inside the remains of this this kind of wooded outpost. What do you want to do? No, Cat, that's too soon. Too soon. Thank you, Adam.
Wow.
Look at this.
Adam.
It's fine. No, that's cool. It's all right. No one ever.
Adam did. You can't say nobody did. Adam did.
That's true.
I could say whatever I want, actually. Because just try.
I like how he says it like this.
Yes, exactly like that.
All right. So you're sitting around, you're talking, you're bandaging, you're getting food. What's the plan? Like, what are you all talking about?
I think we're gonna head into this cave and look for these guys, right?
Okay. Buford and Zandy are a little wounded, but they can kind of, if you want to go back, they can lead you there. You don't, I mean, looking at them, you can tell they're pretty beaten up, but they can lead you back there. It's a ways up the mountain, though. You guys are, in the foothills, so to speak, but you would know that the fortress of Durier's Walls is much higher, and then somewhere about, a little under halfway, or about halfway up towards Durier's Walls, there was a cave, give or take. They would also let you know that there's something of a mountain trail that lasts for a little ways, so it's not too bad of a hike, but eventually, because of that horrible landslide that the area suffered several years back, it gets a little bit harder after that. So,
I mean, Nellie would like to get up closer to the cave and then also do some scouting,
Okay.
probably.
So then the question becomes, do you want to do that today, or do you want to do like what Sylvester was thinking and sleep first?
I say we take a little rest. Oh, sorry, hold on. I need a little bit of shut-eye. I could use a little bit of winky winkies.
Okay. All right. Are you high on the peril threshold? Is that why you're saying this?
Maybe.
No, he was.
Okay. Well, it's your call.
Let's find somewhere safer than where we murdered some of the ghouls
Okay.
to maybe.
You don't want to just like use their bodies as pillows and such?
Maybe
Sure, it'll
not.
be fine.
Maybe not.
Okay. So you look around for a place that might give you some sight of the path going up the mountain, and somewhere you might be able to get some rest, and you hunker down for the rest of the day. Is that the idea, or are you going to do like a late night thing? Are you talking to them at all? Are you talking to the two that went up and came back down? You guys haven't really had a specifically good chance to speak with them yet.
Yeah, I mean, any information that they can impart on what they've seen, what we think we're up against, what we've seen so far.
Okay.
Fill them in on the creepy graveyard.
Okay.
All the things.
So if you ask them, they can kind of expand on some things. So from what they could see, there was a decently large presence of ghouls. They had some folks in cages. They had some folks that were kind of out front of the fortress, but they also had others that looked like they were getting taken inside the fortress. They could tell you that it seems like, because they've been here for a couple days. Like even before they went up the mountain, they were like camped out here for a bit, and they would have they noticed that like definitely scouting, like raiding parties of some kind would come out at night. So there would be folks that would leave, and you would see groups of like anywhere between 6 and 20, sometimes larger, but usually between 6 and 20 would just start coming out from the mountain and disappear. And then a few, some would come back in the morning, some wouldn't, depending upon how far away they were going. So it seems like they were active at night, or at least they were leaving at night. They went up there with about 24 folk, and they only came back down with 2. So there's that. They had enacted some kind of plan to like distract them, and then a couple people sneak in, but that didn't go particularly well. So those are the things that they could tell you.
So they didn't necessarily have a good idea of any kind of weaknesses or an area, because what they tried was, we want to make sure that we don't repeat what they did. Mm-hmm. So coming up with a different strategy than what they tried, since that didn't work well.
Well, he said that what they did is they tried to have like a distraction to lure some of the folks that were out in front of the fortress away, so that the others could sneak in and like kind of free some of the folks that were in cages. But more ghouls just came out from inside the fortress and overwhelmed them while they were trying to break people out. So even though like the distraction worked and it definitely lured folks away, there were still more reinforcements inside that came out.
Got it. So maybe we could look for either A, a different way to get in, or B, some way to like, I don't know, throw some fire in there, burn some people up.
The fortress itself, like when it was functional years ago, it was fairly big. Like it was more of like, it's called a fortress because it used to be militaristic, but more recently it was like just a kind of an outpost, that like a mining outpost more than anything. Though it had in years and like generations past had some sort of militaristic value, but more recently, until it was destroyed, was mostly just a mining outpost. And it's decently sized, but since like half the mountain fell on top of it, everyone just sort of assumed that it was just destroyed. So how much of it is still intact and how large it is, it's hard to say how effective the fire would be. Definitely you would need to scout some more.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to do some scouting. And Nellie has warfare, so I could maybe do like a warfare test to see if I can identify weaknesses.
Okay.
I agree with scouting. However, I'm super tired and really could use a nap.
Just an old man. You have to go to Country Kitchen at like 4:00 every afternoon.
Hey guys, is there Bob Evans somewhere around here?
And then go to sleep at like 6:30, and you're good. And then you wake up at 4. There you go. Okay.
So we're getting the sense that the ghouls are more active at night.
That's when they seem to send a lot of raiding parties out. So it's not so much that they're nocturnal. It's just you've seen them in action before, and
we've witnessed that.
They don't seem to be bothered by the darkness. You would imagine that they have some kind of adaptation to seeing in the dark, or at least not being hurt too bad. So, okay. So you make your camp.
Yep.
You pump them for as much information as they'll give you, and you sleep for the night. As you're sleeping, and as you're looking, since you were able to get a good view of things, true to the word of Buford Crow, you do hear the sounds of groups of these ghouls moving about at night. From your pre-planned position, you're not too concerned with being found, but you are relatively close to the mountain trail that goes up, and you can hear packs of them. Can't see them, they don't seem to have fire, but you can hear them. with their kind of guttural language, whatever it is they're saying. It sounds familiar. It sounds almost like common, but like it's just completely and utterly, disgusting. There's shouts here and there to one another, and you can hear more than you can see. One of you is probably smart enough, if not you all, than one of the NPCs to sort of smother the fire that you probably were using. It's not too cold at night here because of the season you're in. But unless you wanted to do something specifically about them, you could probably just hide where you're at and let them pass.
Yeah, my vote's for hiding for tonight.
How many are there?
You would have to go ahead and see if you can determine that, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not going to go solo. Justin needs to sleep, I guess.
I'm sitting there with a feather above my face. This goes up and down like in a cartoon.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that movement alerts these it's up to you, Nelly, if you want to go peek at them and see if you want to get an idea for numbers, or you could just wait it out.
I'll wait it out, but if they come any closer, then I'll try and...
Okay. Just going to make a note for myself. They waited and didn't interact with the scouting party. Okay. Don't worry, I won't come back later.
No,
Oh, it will.
things don't come back
Okay.
later.
Reed, are you doing anything?
Question.
You've got 22 minutes to think of something.
I don't like that. What?
Wait, what?
Well, like it's 22 minutes past our start time. I figured like it's gonna come around to him at some point.
No,
Anything
I'm
in
just kind
particular?
of with the party here. I'm just waiting to get in there.
Okay. So since you declared last time that you are a member of one of these families of the stem, Buford will start kind of telling you about the folks that were lost, and you would recognize some of them because there's a few of the Crows and Crockers that were here along, and they'll start stringing out names here and there. There's like they're like about 24, about seven people from each one of the families, give or take, kind of came up here, and you definitely recognize some of the names. I might be friends with them, might not, but like you would hear, yeah, this person.
Not them.
Oh yeah, good old Simon. Oh, he was such a jokester, that one. He could always, tell a joke.
Yeah, sister's gonna miss him.
He's got a sister? Oh, I didn't know that. That's a shame.
What's her name?
Yeah, what's her name? Which one of them's her sister?
I think her name was like Sally or something.
Sally, that's a stupid name. Why would they?
How could you say that?
Name? Well, I mean, it's pretty stupid. Simon and Sally, that's just the same letter. That's just going to be confusing for them. But, all right. I mean, that's fine. It's fine. I guess one of us is going to have to go ahead and deliver that there news. So, let's hope it's me so that you don't have to play out that scene, huh? Okay. So night progresses and morning comes, and you were never discovered in the night. It doesn't seem like they were even really looking for you. And you have gotten your sleep, Sylvester. You can move up to Imperiled with the sounds of, ghouls around. I would say this is not a particularly safe place, but it's safe enough for you to get to Imperiled. And you have the morning to plan. You can see that there is some overcast and a chance of maybe a 60% chance of rain. What do you all want to do?
Looking coming from the west, we have a nice like high pressure system coming in the mountains.
It's true. Plan, start fires.
Let's head up to
That's
that.
what Nelly wants to do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you head up. Are you bringing the whole crew with you, the whole NPC crew, or are you guys just going yourselves?
They're cursed, right?
Yes, they are.
I feel like this is an all hands on deck kind of situation because they need to get rid of their curse too. Is that where you're going?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not. Grover and Winona and Tula and Vesta weren't going to fight.
So are they coming or not?
It would be cool if we could have them, if they could like stay at the cave, if
Okay.
that's a safe enough place for them to be.
Sounds good. All right, so you start moving up the mountain, and you are looking about. You doing this quickly, stealthily? What do you have preference?
Stealthily.
Okay. You know what that means. Stealth test, please.
I mean, how could I have known that was coming next?
I want to ask it, but
Don't do
Jeff
it.
would hate me.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Read!
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's no good at all. It's a big fat 100 for Reed.
I've done this before.
Oh boy, that's no good at all. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Big numbers are good, right?
I mean,
All that thinking
no.
yesterday, like, what am I going to do tomorrow? How much noise can I make tomorrow?
Okay. Y'all are heading up the mountain pass. Most of the way is fairly unremarkable. It's fairly quick too, because a lot of the pass is still traversable. You get up to a ridge after probably about an hour and a half of travel. You've been keeping really quiet. Everything's been going great, and you come across this kind of old, crumbled obelisk that's almost like tipped over one of these ridges. Like the ridge looking down is probably about 100 feet down, but like half of it sort of tipped over. You can see from a ways away that it's it's kind of a different coloring. It's kind of like some sort of bluish granite, and as you're and like this is it seems like a decent enough place to sit down and and take a little bit of a break, eat some tuna fish sandwiches. And while this is happening, maybe Reed goes over and pokes around, and he's just looking around, and he just happens to like kick half, part of this obelisk, like the tip of the obelisk, and like a huge chunk of it just goes collapsing down the side of the ridge, like clunk, 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 clunk. This 60-degree angle, this big old soccer ball sized chunk of granite just clink, clink,
Wince
clunk,
on every
clunk,
bounce,
clunk,
waiting for it
clunk.
to be done.
It's totally the Lord of the Rings moment with Pippin, and
Yes.
yeah, and as you're standing there at this little ruin, this little obelisk.
Did anyone else hear that?
He just turns around. He's like, shh, shh, jeez.
You hear the sound of a horn that you are now
Yep.
familiar with, coming from not too far above. Like if you look up, there's like a little switchback that goes up a little bit higher, and you can hear it's pretty close. It's pretty close. What would y'all like to do?
Try and hide so we could possibly ambush them.
Okay. So
I feel like Big Sis is going to walk over to him and be like, what did you say your name was again?
taking
Well,
names.
it's Reed.
Yeah, it's even better because you're new to
Reed.
the party.
Okay. When I tell everyone why we died, I will make sure to tell them. Reed. Reed is the one.
Okay. So you see you guys take up various positions. I'm rolling your stealths over, so we're not really re-rolling them. You take up various positions. Some of the folks who are a little less prepared for battle than you are slinking a little bit further in the back, but they're ready, reinforcements if necessary. And Sylvester, why don't you go ahead and roll an awareness test?
Reed's just holding a stick in front of his face.
He's mastered the art of moving very, very slowly. He's almost imperceptible. Justin, do you want to re-roll that?
That counts as good, right? 69?
Nope, sorry, buddy.
No, I won't reroll.
Okay, you see, kind of coming down from the mountain pass. There's looks like 3, maybe 4 figures coming down. They're moving fairly quickly. They're doing that kind of half run on 2 feet, half gallop on 4 feet type of motion that you've seen them before. One of them looks fairly big. The other looks small. So it looks like it's just like a scouting party.
Wait,
Can
you roll
we-
did you roll initiative for me?
Yeah, I rolled
Sure.
initiative for
Yeah,
everybody.
earlier.
Initiative's taken care of. We got our macros, so it's all good.
Can we try to roll out a bit so that they can be flanked once they get to us?
I mean, you can
Have
certainly.
some sort of a plan.
Yeah, you can try to do that. So as you try to get into.
Not that I have warfare, but like some version of a plan.
Okay, so like you get people on hiding in various sides of the road, doing your best. Go ahead and roll. You're trying to ambush. All right. So you line up on either side. Go roll stealths really fast. Let's see if you can do better.
We're rolling again.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll them again.
I rolled a 16, so I'm fine with my roll.
Either everybody rolls again or nobody rolls again.
Fine.
Nellie's just standing in the middle of the road.
Wow, look at these
I
95s.
think it's
Read.
a welcoming party.
And so
You just can't roll or shit.
and Sylvester, you're like you got a own little viewpoint. You got your gun ready or your bow ready, whatever it is. You see them coming, and all you do is you hear them like arguing, like, "No, this is my spot. No, this is my spot." And you turn around and like pushing each other, and you see Nellie like there's just like falling over on the ground, tumbling, her big old heavy armor, metal armor, just clinking like crazy. And by the time you turn around, they've already run past you, and we are into initiative. But I will give Sylvester. Because you actually rolled well, I'll give Sylvester. You can have a free round here, so you get a free little ambush round. Go
And I'm
ahead.
like, sweet baby.
And so as they get closer, you notice that there are two small ones and one very big one.
I'm gonna take aim. So my gun's already loaded. I'm gonna take aim with my hand cannon at one.
Okay.
So that's two.
Okay. Do you want to go for one of the small ones, or do you want to go for one of the bigger ones?
One of the small ones.
Fair enough. All right. Go ahead and roll it.
Hand cannon roll. Blam.
All right. It's a 16, 14 points of damage. Are you happy with that damage, or do you want to explode anything?
It's a small
I
one.
guess I'll explode because I have an extra one. So roll d6, right?
You do get a extra d6 actually because it's an ambush. So go ahead and roll. Just go ahead and roll another d6. All right, and that's
That
a 1.
explodes.
It also explodes. Yeah. So go ahead and roll.
And then I'll roll another one.
So that puts you at 20, and then you want to burn a fortune point to roll another.
Or you can burn an AP
No, an
Yeah.
AP. Yeah.
because
Oh.
he's got volatile.
Oh, it's volatile.
Yeah. Or no,
Oh,
punishing.
wait, that's
sorry.
not right. Punishing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Then I got another 4.
And what's the grand total?
That would be 14, 15,
He's a math teacher, everybody.
20, 24.
Expert in math. So as
There,
they're like galloping, almost like dogs, and occasionally running on two legs, and the three of you behind are fighting over like this one outcropping of rock to hide behind. The entire mountain valley here echoes with the sound of a gunshot. And as you all turn to look, you see, with one beautifully placed shot, the head of one of the smaller creatures just explodes like it's a melon getting hit by something, and this thing just stumbles down to the ground dead, one shot, and it's completely gone. And then we'll go ahead and start normal initiative. So Sylvester, what's your perception bonus? What's your PB?
It is 7.
I think you can go ahead and go first. I like to do the PB as the tiebreaker. So yeah, you can go ahead and you can go now. Start of normal round.
So I'll load and shoot at the other small one.
Okay, so the other small one, go for it.
That'll take all 3.
Okay, so load and shoot. You don't get extra damage because they're no longer ambush round. Go ahead. Okay. 10 points of damage. Are you satisfied with that, or do you?
I have an exploding in there. I have a 1 I rolled.
You have a 1 in
I think.
there? Beautiful. Yeah, you do.
roll
So
6.
roll another d6.
And I think I'm good with that.
Okay, that'll move it 2 steps. Okay. The next up will be the larger of, and we'll go ahead and track the sound of the gunfire. And we'll turn around, and it will see that there is this beautiful old man hiding behind a rock.
It was him.
And there's like a little scarecrow next to you that you're pointing at. So I'll go ahead and spend a AP to get to you. So I'll move over, hustle over there. I will spend an AP to attempt a takedown. I'm going to roll this with athletics since he's sort of moving in. And you need to resist with coordination or be knocked down. Sylvester. Roll coordination. All right, you do resist.
Too quick for you.
And then it'll go ahead with this sort of really like thick, heavy claw, and then just sort of scrape away at you. One-on-one, so standard, nothing special. But you are now engaged. 71, that's going to be a miss. And then we'll go ahead.
Whoopsie-doodles, you missed.
Go down to Nelly. So Nelly, it's your turn. You're probably 2 movements away from the alpha, and probably a movement away from the underling.
Okay, so I'll do 2 movements to the alpha and then attack.
All right, so you 2v1 on this one. You can go ahead and make that routine. This one doesn't have that one trait that I always forget the name of. What's it called? Never surrender. It doesn't have never surrender. So go ahead and roll at routine for your attack.
Okay.
Okay.
9 baby damage.
Are you happy with that damage, or did you want to explode or anything?
Nah, I want to explode.
You sure?
I'm gonna save that for later.
Okay. All right. So it'll go ahead and move down 1 step, and then it'll come around to Reed. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna rush up with Nelly here.
Okay, we'll say the same thing. 2 AP to close in on the alpha, 1 AP to close in on the underling.
Is this chargeable terrain?
No, it's kind of rocky up here.
All right, I'll go for the underling.
Okay.
1 AP.
Sounds good.
Then take aim on him.
All right. 1 AP to move, 1 AP to take aim. So go ahead and roll your attack with your +10 bonus from take aim. Dear God.
Oh my God.
Jesus
damage.
Christ, what is wrong with you?
Double explode.
That's quite literally enough to kill it outright. It already was down 2 steps, and you have literally just killed it. So,
Wow.
Yes, it's very rocky. There's so many rocks, and they haven't picked any up, so they're pretty much doomed. Okay.
Not with rolls like that, we're not.
What kind of weapon are you using anyway?
Base lord.
Oh, so you're just coming up with that. It's like that's one of those like little things that are on the end of a fist, right? Like you.
Yeah, it's a repeat.
It's like
I've done this before.
Yeah, this sounds really familiar. You also like fell down
He's
like an
Wolverine.
idiot beforehand, and then went and did it. So that's 2 in a row now. So this thing is dead. Like you just walk up, and your whole fist just kind of goes through the chest as like you cut through it with the base layer, and then your arm kind of halfway sinks into its chest. That is your turn. And the underling would go next, but he's dead now, so never mind. And Big Sis, same deal.
So how many people are left now?
Just the one.
Big guy.
Who is on Sylvester, but Nelly has closed the gap, and so it's 2v1 over there. You can spend 2 AP if you want to. So 2 hustles basically would get you there.
I'm gonna do. I'll still do an intimidation just to try to help everybody out.
Okay.
Kind of decrease a bit. So.
I would say you
Hatred.
have encountered these enough to know, so that these don't seem to be all that able to be intimidated. The smaller ones do, but the ones that seem to be bigger and beefier, like the alpha here, like doesn't. That's just me throwing a bone. Like they're not really. They never really seem to be afraid of anything that you all have done.
Okay, I was gonna try a litany of hatred.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I wanted you to save your AP.
All right, then I will hustle and attack.
Okay, so you hustle up.
Hustle up times 2 and attack.
3v1. You get your 1 attack. You can do this at easy since the 3 of you have now quickly surrounded this thing.
All right.
I messed up my kill before. You know, when you said I blew his head off, I should have been like, "Who goes there?" After his head was blown off.
Oh my! I want to George. I've been saying "oh my" a lot lately. I don't know why, but
Oh my!
oh my! I love
That's
George
a crit.
Okay. There we go. That's 12 damage. Oh, we're getting raided. Thank you, them, Dave. Appreciate the raid.
Hey.
Oh boy. Oh man. look at those. There's so
Cue
many
the techno music.
Just in time.
pumpkins. Here, I give.
Just in time for a crit.
I don't have any pumpkins, but here are some mushrooms. Oh, look at that. Ashley and I had the same idea.
Thanks.
So, yeah. So, them Dave, if you're unfamiliar, they play on Tuesdays over on this channel. So go check them out. It's Too Fast to Fumble, or is it? Yeah, it's Too Fast to Fumble. Did I get that right? Too Fast to Fumble. Over on right here. So check them out. Check out their Zweihander game as well. So, what were we doing? We had a crit by Big Sis. That's 12 damage. Okay. And are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, these aren't going to be the last things we're going to be doing today.
Okay. All right. So that is enough.
He then turns and shoves his fist through your chest.
That's only enough for one step.
How many do we have? How many do we have left?
Oh, all 5.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you should totally spend one.
No.
I think you totally should. Yeah.
Jeff's been trying to bait him before we get to combat.
This is
Nope,
a combat.
This is definitely the biggest thing that'll happen
Yeah,
today.
you're not going into like quite literally like the final arc of the adventure, but that's fine.
No.
Okay.
I'm good with 12.
Okay.
Did
so
anybody else notice that Reed is like One Punch Man?
I know, right? I think I said that
Yes.
last week. I think I said One Punch Man last week. That's gonna
Spider-Man?
move them. It's gonna move them to.
Big Sis still doesn't like you because you're so freaking loud.
That's gonna move them to moderate. So I'm gonna roll 2d6s since you have vicious on that weapon, and I'm good. So no injury. Big Sis, you're done. We move back. Sylvester, you can go. I
guess I'll just hit him with the gun butt.
Yeah, go for it. Roll it. Roll it
That
easy.
was simple melee, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Roll it at easy, you said?
Yeah. Yep. We'll just and if you hit, we'll just use your combat for damage. Take your CB.
CB's 8.
Okay, and then roll a d6.
And D6. So it's 13.
So 13 points of damage will. Gun butt known as a rock. Yeah, I know. You couldn't have just thrown him a bone.
But I did
and
actually.
thrown
I
him up.
used the butt of my gun like a golf club to knock a rock up into his face.
There you go. I like
That's
that.
what it did.
So 13
Can I
total.
explode
Right?
one of those with one of my AP?
Yes, you can. Well, I mean, technically, I guess you have to shoot it because you're just hitting it. Go ahead and do it. It's fine.
Explodes.
All right.
Explodes.
Explodes?
No, because it's not being shot.
Okay. Can you
Aw.
describe how you kill this thing and how rocks are involved?
So I stack a small tower of rocks really high, so maybe about mid height.
And he's totally cool with you doing it. He's just watching.
Yes.
You're like,
I'm just like, hold on 1 minute.
I wonder what he's doing.
And then
Could this be?
like
It's like
some type of rapid fire. I just get tick, 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 all up his body to his head, and the last one pierces his skull.
Okay.
And I go 4.
Oh, jeez.
Up his body or into his mouth?
You
Like
should've
he's
said-
a chipmunk?
No.
His
It's
cheeks
going
are full of
up.
rocks?
It's going up. He looks kind of like a snowman on the way up, and then it
Mind,
hits him in the forehead.
mind if I play through? It's a golf joke if you ever.
Mind if I play through?
Jeez. Okay. We'll stop there. Oh, hey, for the new people who rated, you know what you should do? You should go buy this. This is just a little thing that myself, Defenders of Cobalt, with Chuck over there, our friend Friendon, we got a little zine going on there, and it's pretty cheap. It's like 50 cents, and you're supporting other people that are on the Zweihander channel. So, so go buy that sucker. It's
I also have an
it's
Amazon
only
list I
50
can post
cents.
up if you want me to.
No.
Shut up, Justin. It's only
No, okay.
50 cents. It's only 50 cents. So great. It's amazing. It's got awesome stuff in it. Yeah. So go take a look at it. And if you want to know what it looks like here, like if you're just curious, here's the cover right here. It's just, I mean, the cover alone is worth 50 cents, right? It's like the cover alone is 50 cents. And I mean, the cover was like $50 really.
It's very
If we're giving it to you for
armadillo.
50 cents, that is the T-Rask. And you can see a little bit of the artwork. I got a little bit cut off, but you can get that and more by following the link in the chat channel. All right. Advertisement done. Let's get back.
What do we got next coming up, Dave? We got ourselves a C29 samurai sword. So if you look at this, really sharp edge.
Yeah, we should do QVC stuff. Yeah. All right. We went Oh yes, that's true. Hey, Bert. Okay, so you've got these three. So getting back to our game, you got these three dead ghouls on the ground. These feral ghouls on the ground. Gunshot did ring out really loudly and is echoing through the mountain pass. You've got this little obsidian or little obelisk behind you where everyone was kind of taking cover. The little crew that you were bringing with. What do y'all want to do?
Well, first I'm gonna go and then put my gun away.
I'm glad you said that. We were all wondering if that was going to happen.
It's really important that I do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think Adam gave you all an extra.
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I guess I guess I'll kind of try and track where they came from, see if we can kind of find our way to the source of where these guys are from. Would that be a good idea?
I want to keep an eye out because they did blow their horn on the way in. So I am assuming that means that is not the only group that we are going to run into. So I want to keep an eye out for who else heard that horn.
Okay.
I'm going to track, see if maybe we can get a general idea where they're coming from. So.
I want to snatch a horn off their body.
That's easily done. No problem. Only the big one has it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also search and see if there's anything on them?
Nothing that you could tell. They don't really seem to travel with much. Remember that their weapons are kind of grafted into their hands. You've seen a few of these carry weapons, but it's usually like the big like Resident Evil Nemesis guys that are the ones carrying the weapons, like the one that you saw and avoided in the Writhing Temple. These are a little just more kind of standard run of the mill. You've got like a small squad, and then you got like a leader of a squad. So if you're thinking militaristically, these are like privates and maybe a corporal.
I forgot to ask about my axe.
Yeah, you did. So it's gone. Sorry, it was stolen in the night
that's fair.
by evil gnomes.
I happily concede to gnomes.
Okay. So you're going. You're looking around. Is that what you said, Big Sis and Sylvester?
I am listening, looking, scouting, and
Okay.
he's tracking.
They came down the pass, and you're going up, so you have to go up.
It's a mysterious. Where could they have come from?
I'm gonna push the bodies. Like, is there like a ledge I can just shove them off?
Of course, it's the same ledge that Reed knocked the little piece of the obelisk off.
Fantastic.
So as you knock them off, they just go thunk, 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 make tons of sound, and then a horn goes off, and it's Groundhog Day, and it all happens again. But now you chuck them over, and that's fine. Okay. Do you continue up the pass?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
stealthily, do we have to do another stealth check?
I will have you do yet another stealth check. Yes,
Okay.
let's do yet another one. So much fun. Welcome to Stealth Text. We have a little joke in the Lollygaggers about Zweihander stealth chest, because every time I ask for one, someone forgets how they're done. They're like, what difficulty? I'm like, just roll. Oh, we got another crit fail. So good.
Wow.
So good. That's wonderful. Or is it a crit fail? I don't know. It depends what the difficulty is. Okay. I'm going to tuck that one away.
I'm tired today.
So, you travel up the mountain pass a bit until the mountain pass becomes blocked by a little bit of rubble. And you can see that this seems to be where that rumored or referenced landslide seems to have kind of broken apart some of the mountains, kind of filled up one of the valleys, covered the mountain pass itself. It's still traversable, but it's definitely it's definitely going to be a little bit harder to move. But you climb over top of it without a whole lot of difficulty, and you continue traveling upward. You probably travel for about another hour before eventually Buford, the guy who's been coming with you, he will slow you down a bit, and he will start to point you in the direction of the cave, and he'll be like, if you continue up that way, and he's pointing to this small little like kind of crevice between these two larger cliff walls. Like, if you follow that direction, that'll eventually wind around to the entrance to the front of the fortress for Doryer's walls. But this way over here. And he's kind of pointing down this small, really very tight, almost like a goat path, like one of those really very, and it's almost a little treacherous. You go that route, there's a right around that little nook right there. We saw ourselves a cave, but we heard. I don't really like the sounds we heard from it, but if you're interested, we could always explore. Or you could explore, and we could, hunker down somewhere else and just keep an eye on the road.
What kind of noises did you hear coming from it?
Oh, growls and such, and maybe
like a bear or ghoul.
I don't know. We didn't really stay too long. You're not going to get that piece of information from me. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to go look for yourself.
Did the sound have 2 legs or 4 legs?
Oh, it certainly sounded like about 35. I know it's an odd number, but it's just how he rolls.
Human centipede.
Oh God. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Nellie will suggest that they hunker down somewhere and then we go check it out.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use one of your stealth rolls for their stealth check for where they're hunkering down. I won't say which. And you all will continue along this tiny little goat path as you're curving around the this cliff face. Now, I want all of you to go ahead and roll a coordination test to try to keep your balance as you're looking down, and it's a fairly long drop should you crit fail. So the good thing is we have a bunch of NPCs back there, so if you do crit fail, you can just play one of them. Oh boy, this is not a good start. Okay, so we got a couple fails. So as you all are going, and you're doing your best to kind of lean your backs against the cliff wall and just do kind of like a side by side, careful. Every now and then your foot slips and one of you falls, and like someone else has to reach and grab you. But every time you do, someone's there. It's like not like you're super in danger since none of you crit failed. But every time, like you feel a shoulder kind of slightly get pulled out of the socket, or you kind of scrape your leg or your arm against the rock wall itself. So everyone who failed, go ahead and roll a d10. Okay. Reed, go ahead and take 9 points of physical. Go ahead, Sylvester, take 2, and Nelly take 6. It's not too bad, but eventually the little goat path widens up a bit, and you see a little bit of a platform, a little bit of a cliff edge, and then you see it kind of opens up more. And you can see that if you would have come from like the northwest side, it's a very easy route up. But because of the direction you were coming from, you were kind of coming to a back way to the cave. But there's a fairly large and winding path going down the other side of this mountain. But you have like kind of snuck over, and you can see right in front of you there's this fairly large cave opening. What would you like to do?
I would like to listen to see if I can hear the weird noises.
Okay, roll an eavesdrop test.
Agreed.
Eavesdrop standard. Fail.
Failed.
Yeah. You don't hear anything.
It's all I hear are rocks.
It sounds
so many rocks.
It sounds peaceful inside.
Can I search for tracks?
You absolutely sure can. Yeah, go right ahead.
Scrutinize or
awareness is fine. Okay.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So, as
get on now, boys.
As
actually missing an ear.
As you wander in, isn't somebody missing a nose? Isn't Sylvester missing a nose? I think he's missing his nose.
Guys, I don't smell anybody.
Well, it's a good thing, and it's probably a little bit why as he kind of looks down for tracks, he doesn't notice like this giant pile of feces that as he's walking he just turns and slips in fairly fresh.
All's clear.
And slams right back down on it. Go ahead and roll a d10. It's ridiculous. 3 points physical play. I'm rolling 2d10 from now on. Okay. So you slip and you fall.
One might argue that I don't really hate what just happened.
Yes, I know.
So
I know. I'm aware. But you're like soiled and covered in shit of some kind.
Guys, they got free shit here. You know that?
Yep.
Oh,
Well, if you guys don't hear or see anything, I guess we can just light a torch and walk on in.
Okay. All right.
Lead the
Coast
way,
clear.
kind sir.
Okay.
Solid logic.
So you start working your way into this cave, and you notice along the way that there's like scrapes along the rock on the side. Like, and you're looking like this little, these little cave. It's like the rock, whatever it might be. It's just there's scrapes.
Still no signs of anything wrong here, guys. Let's persist.
You don't notice all the bones and such on the ground, because he rolled a crit fail, so he just kind of kicks him to the side before anyone can see him. But you
Get this shit out of the way.
But you eventually, like, as the cave itself is fairly wide. It's like a good 8-9 feet wide, so it's a fairly comfortable travel until you reach a dead end. You see a small little underwater pond. You hear the dripping of water, and then you see this larger cliff wall that seems to go up, and you can see a small little ray of light as really, really high up, like maybe 200 feet up in the air. You can see a crack in the ceiling. You also see underneath it, probably about maybe 60 feet up, there's this ledge that might suggest you can go further in. Mm-hmm. Well, I would describe the smell, but we literally shot off Sylvester's nose, and he is the leader, so he can't smell anything. So, yeah. So, and you see this big cliff face, you see a small little pond, and you see a light shining down from above. What would you like to do? I don't know. I think they're screwed. I don't know why we're still playing these characters. I told them to throw them off a cliff, Jen, but they just didn't listen to me. And yeah.
Retried.
Yep.
And so did I with those crit fails.
Okay. So what would you like to do? You see this. We'll put you at about 40 feet from the cliff wall. You notice that there is a little. There's not a little, but there's a little. There's like a little. Cave. Calling it a cave would be redundant, but we'll call it like an alcove at the base of the cliff. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here. So.
Well, naturally, I want to go look at the pond.
Okay.
Guys, it's fetid water. I'm sure it's fine.
You head over to the water, and you can see that it there's it's kind of dripping a little bit down the wall. So it's like coming from above. You can see like a very small. It's very shallow, a little bit murky. You can get a little bit of it. It's got a stale smell to it a little bit, but you taste it and it's fine. It's fine. A little dusty.
There's nothing like in the water.
Oh, I don't know. You're gonna have to roll an
Like, I don't
awareness test.
see-
You're just gonna have to roll an awareness test for that.
Okay.
How big of a pond is this?
It's maybe about 10 feet diameter. Okay.
I failed.
Yeah. No, you don't.
We were so unaware.
You don't notice. You don't notice anything. Everything's fine. Everything's totally.
He's like, let me check it with the torch. Nope, can't see anything.
That's how you see underwater, right?
Oh my god, it smells like smoke in here. I think we're on fire. No, you don't see it. Everything looks fine. Everything looks perfectly safe.
Safe to jump into,
I'm
dive right
definitely
into, right?
going to poke the water.
Okay. You poke the water. Water has been poked.
Is it with a big toe type of thing? Like,
Yeah, like I just smashed my foot in there and I'm like, cool. And then I walk away.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. No problem. Yeah. You walk away. You see the water's still kind of rippling a bit, but everything's fine.
I'll head towards the cliff face to see if there's a way to climb it.
Okay. Yeah. You bypass because like the little pond is off to the left. You hover to the right, the pool, and or do you have a torch out? Like there's a little bit of light coming, but it's like hundreds of feet high, and so you can't really see enough. But yeah, when you get a little close, you start to notice like this like a fetid stench, like the smell of something dead maybe that's been just sort of sitting around wasting. You look on the ground and you can see your feet are starting to get covered by like beetles and other kind of carrion bugs here and there. This is where you say something.
Right. I'll just
Sometimes you forget.
I'll push on through. I'll try to ignore it.
Okay. So you move up to the base of the cliff. You are a couple feet away from that little alcove to the right. And the cliff wall certainly looks climbable. Plenty of handholds, footholds, etc.
Melissa should check in the pond to see if there's more witch stone.
Can I like dip my face in and then open my eyes and see if I can see anything under the water?
You want to put your face in the water?
We're all doing something with it, so it seems like,
Okay.
give it a whirl, see what happens.
This isn't running water, is it?
There's a trickle of water coming down the cliff wall, so like it's coming from somewhere above. But you walk over and you stick your face down in the water. It's not too deep. It's just maybe like 2 or 3 feet. Little dusty, hard to see. Roll a toughness test. That's standard.
You got an eye infection.
I'm like, oh, that's how you get pink eye right there.
You effectively hold your breath underneath the water, and you look around. There's a couple rocks here and there, and oh man, it looks like there's some bones down here. Yeah, those look like bones. Seashells? No, bones. Definitely bones.
Do they look like the same bones that we've seen on the way in?
You didn't see any of the ones because
We didn't.
Sylvester was kicking them off to the side.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Can I reach for the nearest bone?
Yeah, you reach for it, you grab it, you pull it out of the water.
What does it look like?
It looks like
People
a
bone. People bone. Animal bone.
Go
Do a heel test.
Roll a heel test.
Standard.
Easy.
That's a success.
No, it doesn't look human. No, not at all. This looks, something maybe,
Smaller, bigger.
definitely smaller. Maybe a
Like a child.
feline, maybe. Children are also human.
No. Okay, this is escaping us a little bit. Okay.
It's fine.
Are you heading up to that alcove?
Yes, I'm by the cliff face right now.
Okay. So, are you gonna start climbing?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
All right, go ahead and roll.
I'll start joining him in
Okay.
his little travels.
Okay. 2 of you can go ahead and roll some athletics tests.
I just can't do it.
Okay. So
We're quite athletic, both of us.
You're like climbing up, and you get maybe about 10 feet up, and then you kind of slip and fall, Reed, and then you take Sylvester out on your way down. The 2 of you go stumbling around to the ground. Both of you can go ahead. Not that this will ever actually do anything. Oh, there we go. 9 points of physical peril as you slam to the ground right in front of that alcove. And then suddenly there's something inside the alcove. There's something moving inside. You can see it's a few feet deep, and it's a little shadowy in there. But you see something moving, and then you hear the sound of something scraping. And then you hear...
Guys, this cave has a tummy ache.
And then as you watch, some sort of creature begins to fill the entirety of that alcove and just slowly boom, 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 and some's stumbling out of it until they're about 5 or 6 feet away from you. You see a massive brown bear. But it's not just any brown bear. This brown bear has all sorts of strange barbs and patches missing from its fur. You see places where it's been cut. You can see that part of its face is just, there's this horrible like metal graft down the middle of it. And as it's coming at you, you can tell that like there are parts of its sort of its shoulders and its legs where you can see bits of metal sticking out where the bone would be. Dried blood is kind of all over its mouth. And it steps out right in front of you. And it's, again, 5-6 feet away. And it just roars like this awful, terrible, guttural roar. And I would like both of you. Actually, I'll have all four of you can go ahead and roll for a resolve test. But I'm going to make Sylvester and Reed go ahead and roll this at standards, but Big Sis and Nelly, you can roll it at routine. Oh, it's Papa Bear. What? What's going on in chat right now? Oh my god.
Passed.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh my God, the legends are true. It's Man Bear Pig.
All right, and so Sylvester, you go ahead. Oh my god, you take 4 points of mental peril, and you're suffering from fear.
Whew, thank God I can't
You
smell
even
'em.
tried rolling 2d10.
It's ridiculous. Well, I did because they're really close. Who else failed? Anyone else fail?
I passed.
Did you roll, Melissa? I don't see yours.
Sorry, I thought it was just them that were down there.
No, everyone's in the area, but they're like right next to it, so I made them roll at a higher
Sorry.
difficulty.
Standard.
I'm
This is
so, I'm so
routine.
unfazed.
Routine,
I'm like,
okay.
oh my God, he's so cute. Look at him.
He's adorable.
I'm gonna pinch his little cheeks.
I'm gonna scroll down. What did I roll?
Pass.
Oh my god, I am rolling just awful, just awful. All right, so we're going to go into initiative. The two of you are laying prone right in front of this creature. That's the bad news. The good news is that you all can go first. So Sylvester, you are laying on the ground. You're basically in engagement range with this thing. And you can go first. And this has come out roaring at you. It's enormous. So
Does it take an AP to stand up, basically?
If you have coordination, it would only take 1 to get up. But if you don't have coordination, it'll take 2.
What do you mean by like the talent
The
coordination?
skill. It's a skill.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
do you have
it.
any points in it?
So I don't have it. I'm just gonna stand up and bank. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so you stand up, and you're banking an AP.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just,
so part of getting up
I
is
have
like
a
you can step
feeling-
away from it too.
yeah. I just have a feeling it may not be happy with me in its general vicinity.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be waiting for a swipe.
Okay,
I know I'm not there, but is it?
you're
like,
there. You're all there. You're
Sorry.
You're just a little further away.
My
You're-
face was in the water.
I know, but like the pond, like the little pool that you were sticking your face in, it's like 20 feet to the left. Like you're all in the
I
same
just
place.
picture she's like, this is all happening. Her face in the water. She's just blowing bubbles. That's all she's doing.
Yeah.
She
Guys,
hasn't
look at
even
this.
surfaced yet.
Just love how you focus so hard on the freaking water. And I'm like, there's an alcove too.
I found a cat. bomb.
Nelly, you're up. I would say since the last time I heard from you, you were near the pool. We're gonna keep you near the pool. You would be two movements, 2 hustles away from this big thing.
All right, let me 2 hustle hit.
Oh, I do love Cool Ranch Doritos.
Do you prefer them over nacho? Because I think I do.
I do. What's the new one that's
No!
in like the teal green? Logan used to bring it all the time.
I
Long,
think it's
do
like
you
lime
remember?
or something.
No, God.
Salsa verde.
Salsa Verde. Salsa Verde.
Purple's supposed to be really good too. Haven't tried it though.
Salsa Verde is the best. Yeah. Okay.
I crit failed.
I saw that. So you're gonna run up. You're gonna swing at this thing. You're invading its home. So you're a home invader attacking this cave bear, and you're gonna go ahead and you'll take 14 points of physical peril as you swing down at it. This thing just pushes your arm down, and it nearly rips the arm out of its socket. But seriously, the Salsa Verde Doritos are just wonderful. Reed, you're up.
I need to
Let's
start
see it up.
expanding my Dorito world.
You do. Like, it changed. It really just changed everything. Like, I was like, Cool Ranch, Cool Ranch, Cool Ranch, and all of a sudden, Salsa Verde. What is this? This is like the greatest thing ever. Get some battle music on for a bear. Can't believe you guys are fighting a bear.
And I'm just gonna back up.
Okay. So you get up, back up, and then next up, I think it's the bear is going to go next. It's going to go ahead since the two of you backed up, but Nelly's right in front of it. And I think, let's see, this thing's going to go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and take aim and just really just try to crunch down on your bite, on your arm or something like that. So I don't have like the whole stat block in, so I'm just gonna roll D100. That's a crit. That's a 1. So that's going to bypass your defenses. It's going to hit you.
Who's this on?
This
Nelly?
is on Nelly because she's the only one left in engagement range.
Whew.
So this thing's gonna step up to you, and let me roll a D6 here. And I only do 8 points of damage, so that's not a whole lot. However, I do need you to roll a coordination test. I'm gonna put it at. I'll pull it at standard's fine.
Standard? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Fail.
And you get this thing just snaps out at you with like these almost metal reinforced jaws and clomps down on your shoulder that had just fallen from your missed strike, and your momentum continues to take you down, and so you are on the ground, right in front of it. And then I think while you're down there, I'm going, because I have 1 more AP left, I'm going to go ahead and attempt a let's see, and that was a free takedown for the attack. I'm going to attempt just like a stunning blow. So I'm just going to smack you right in the head as well.
Ooh, okay.
And with a 9, that will be that will also succeed. You can resist with toughness.
Okay.
Make it at challenging since you're laying on the ground. Okay.
Fail.
And so at the start of your next turn, you will have one fewer AP, but you will get a chance to resist.
Okay.
Okay, so then it'll be Big Sis's turn. Head still in the water, or is it out of the water, and are you looking at
Blowing
the bone?
bubbles. No, she's just blowing bubbles.
Yeah, she's examining.
I imagine I heard the roar.
Sure did. You heard a roar, and you heard probably Nelly scream out in pain.
Yeah.
And you heard Sylvester and Reed run away like chicken shits. But you turn around, you got a bone, and you're like, guys, I found a bone. Oh shit, there's a bear. But it's like a metal bear, like metal bear. Okay, what do you want to do? Oh god, I hadn't looked at chat for a while, and the first thing I see is a pun.
Hey, I'm trying to chip
pun
in.
by Friendon. Never stop being you. Okay, what do we got?
Oh jeez.
What do you want to do, Big Sis?
I'm going to try to defend Nelly and attack this thing. Is it like tied up in any way?
No.
Okay.
No, it would take 2 AP for you to get over there, 2 hustles to get over there, and then you'd have 1 of your AP
Can
left.
I charge?
Sure. It's
chargeable
relatively flat ground in here. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Then I will do that. And then
Bugles. Who the hell eats bugles? Ugh.
I just,
Standard?
To charge in and attack, yeah, because she's on the ground, so I'm not really going to give you the benefit.
okay.
I just like to think that they're all doing puns, and I just go, bugles! No? Okay.
Bugles are musical instruments, Justin.
Sorry.
You don't eat musical instruments.
And then I get another D6 because I charged.
Yep.
Ugh.
12 points. You happy with that?
Yeah, we got an extra one, so I'll do another one.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll another D6.
Got 5, 17 total.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Is that Keith? Hey, Keith. Okay, that'll move it down 2 steps. So you come up, you swing away at your scythe, you cut through it. Again, you notice this, like, the hair on this thing is pretty patchy, like the fur is not really there. Like, it's definitely like this thing has been messed with, like, cut into, experimented upon, something like that. And you go ahead and you swing at it. Much like if you were to watch a Sarah McLachlan ASPCA commercial, Melissa would want to go and attack the dogs. Sylvester, it's your turn.
What?
That's fine. That's cool.
So people are engaged with it.
Right now, Big Sis is, and Nelly is been pushed down onto the ground, and it's got like a big meaty paw on top of her.
Well, there's only one thing to do. So I'm gonna load my gun and take a shot, I guess.
Okay. You load the gun, you take a shot. Someone's in. Since someone's there, we're gonna make this of a challenging difficulty.
All right.
If you crit fail, you hit Big Sis.
It's worth a shot.
I like that rule. It's not really a rule. I think it's just something we say. That's a miss.
I'll re-roll.
Okay, go for it.
Oh my god, we're spending so money on this bear.
Well, I mean, that's the first one that you actually got credited for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
the one that I spent was the second one from Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, and for all those of you in chat, if you also feel like pissing me off and giving everything to the players even though they don't deserve it, there's ways that you can go ahead and join
or
in
you
the
can
game.
give 200 and give him misfortune.
100 bits for fortune, 200 bits to help me out.
Don't
so
worry, Jeffrey. I have insurance.
All
Okay,
right. You roll 13 points of damage. Are you happy with that amount of damage?
I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Did you do your extra, or did you want to spend an extra for punishing?
I already used 3.
Yeah.
Loading's 2.
You had to load.
Yeah.
Okay, that's still going to go ahead with 13 points of damage. It'll still move it down 2 steps, so it's going to roll. So it's down to 4. I'm going to have to roll for grievous injury. This isn't vicious, right? No. All right, it's 3d6s. It is not injured, but it is grievously injured at this point. Or grievously wounded, excuse me. Nelly, go ahead and roll another toughness test to see if you stay. See if you
Vic, it's sad and alone.
Still at challenging?
Bro. Yeah, I'm going to keep it at challenging.
Okay.
It's a pretty big bear.
Oh god.
All this is just for you to get all of your AP back. Which
None.
you don't. So you only have 2 AP to work with. What do you want to do?
Since, I'll just stab up at it. From the ground.
That's going to be a more difficult attack. So
I'll take aim with one and then I'll stab.
We'll say hard to hit, and then you got your take aim.
So challenging.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, are you doing a dick stab right now?
Hey.
No, I'm trying to
You don't know the bear's gender, Justin.
You're right.
You don't know.
I'm sorry.
It actually is a lady bear.
3! I hit!
You did.
Okay. Go
10 damage.
10 damage. And so as you're laying underneath this this bear who has seen nothing but torture and abuse for a significant portion of its life, if not its entire life, and all it wanted to do was live here, was hunting the mountain and taking out like cats and other things, mountain cats and such. It was living its life. It was being nice, and you all invaded its home.
Laying it on thick.
You thrust up with your sword, and you just stab right in the chest and drive it down into the belly, and all sorts of bear guts spill out onto you. And then it flops down on top of you, and you suffocate to death. But so does the bear. The bear is also dead.
You learn that it talks, and it says, "Why? Why?"
Yeah.
It just starts singing, "In the arms."
No.
Okay. So, yeah, there's this big old bear in front of you. There you go. What do you guys want to do?
Search
Get
the
out.
area for things, tracks, exits, stuff like that.
When you go into the alcove, you see it's just like a bear's den. There's like bones and some carcasses of small animals and such. It seems like the only way out is up. You have to climb.
I'm gonna retry climbing it then.
Okay. So anybody who wants to go up, roll an athletics test. Sorry, I was just going to do one of these things right here. Speaking of hot, sorry, I'm a little behind. Sorry. I had to watch a bear that I spent all of five minutes preparing die in front of me brutally. Never tried.
Quick question,
You never tried to
Jeffrey.
talk to it. You never tried to ask it any questions.
Could I have handled the bear like Animal handled it?
We'll never
I'm
know.
just curious.
We'll never know.
Damn it.
Okay.
Wait, was that standard or no?
Standard's fine.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're just everyone passed. So one by one, all of you managed to climb slowly but surely, about 60 to 65 feet up this interior cave wall until you get to its very top. You are probably another 100 feet before you would reach the top where the light is coming down. But you also, as you climb up here, you notice that there is another little opening, this very narrow opening in the wall that seems to travel in kind of a northeasterly direction. If you've got your druthers around you, if you kind of understand, you think you're kind of underneath where that fortress above might be, thereabouts. You're getting close anyway. But yeah, there's this. So you can continue to try to climb, but it'd be a much more difficult check, and also the dangers are pretty high if you continue to go up towards that light, or you can investigate this little
Pull the lever,
opening.
Kronk. Let's go.
Wait, there's a lever? What?
Yeah. Let's check out the alcove.
Okay.
Jeff will never put another lever in a game
Nope.
ever.
Nope. Nope.
Wait, when was there a lever?
This is like when we first started playing TTRPGs and we played a game that shall not be named. And I regret so much putting a lever in the game. Never mind.
And then I got
Trying
him
to use a
little.
lever for like everything possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
and then
this
I
is-
bought him little miniature levers.
Yep.
Like long after he said he was never going to do
Oh,
it. So if
no.
we ever do, we actually have little mini levers.
30 bears descend upon the party. All right, who's going first? Who's going first?
I'll go
I
first
think
with a torch.
Okay.
This would kinda
Sylvester's
scatter.
out front. Who's following? I'm going to write this down so I know who's going to die to the trap.
Jeffrey, I can see traps, so
Okay.
it's fine.
That actually was Mama Bear, Jen, and they murdered Mama Bear. Like that was Mama Bear, and they just killed her. Just didn't do anything. It's actually a really tragic story. Papa Bear's still out there. Throw Mama from the Train, by the way, Brendan, is one of my all-time favorite movies. Like like ask Melissa, it's ridiculously fun. I use it in my college lectures. Like I really do use it in my college lectures. It's hilarious. I love that movie so much. Oh my god. This is Cousin Patty. You don't have a Cousin Patty. Okay. As you're moving in, you travel probably about 20 feet or so, Sylvester, before you come to a fairly deep crack. You see up in front, there's a kind of a deep crack in the earth. This part of the cave is maybe only about 5 or 6 feet wide, so it's really just like one person, single file. You've got a torch out and everything? Okay. As you get within about 6 or 7 feet of what looks to be a fairly large gap in the path forward, you can suddenly see your torch just burst into a blaze. Kind of the flame kind of going a little bit higher, a little bit stronger. You can feel a little of that burst, like kind of clip your hair a little bit. But as you take another step forward, it just continues. The flame continues to burn faster and brighter. There's something about this that is kind of causing your flame to kick up a little bit higher.
Are there any dead canaries, Jeff?
I mean, somewhere in the world, but not here. Not that you can see, anyway.
Can anyone smell anything? Because I definitely have an issue with that. There might be some type of methane gas leak. My torch is going a little bit haywire. Someone's going to do some type of check.
Awareness? Anybody who wants to roll it, go ahead. Oh, single white female. You know who's in single white female, Friendin? Brian. So Steven Weber from Wings. Just so you know, so it all comes.
I love
circle.
wings.
Love Wings. Ugh.
Pass.
Hang on, speaking of Brian, so this guy right here, is in single way female. As I ruin the entire overlay. Okay. You smell something sulfuric, something gaseous. Sylvester, his instincts are right. Yeah. It's Brian.
Is there any light source other than my torch?
No. Just whatever you all have brought here.
Is there any way to like stick it on the wall?
There's no it's just rock raw. So there's no sconces or anything like that. Nothing. No torch.
So I'm just gonna have to sit here while you guys figure out how to get across that thing.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
So if you probably take a couple steps back to where you'll see the flames start to die down a little bit. It still gives a little bit of light up ahead. So if anybody else wants to sneak up, you can certainly do so and look.
Yeah, I'll do so.
Okay. It's about 10 feet across. It's not too, but it's also, when you look down and kind of maybe you reach down too, you feel kind of something warm drifting up. You can, like, when you get close, you can feel like almost like a gust coming upward from the crevice, and it's like hitting you across your nose and your face, watering your eyes a bit, to the point where you kind of have to cover and wear a mask. And yeah, there's something coming up from below. You can't quite see down there, obviously, because it's just too dark. What would you like to do?
Ooh.
Were you gonna say something? You just said ooh.
No, that's
I know.
that's
You're gonna
like
say
me.
something.
Like,
Exciting.
should we throw the torch into the gas? But then, like, also, like, that would be bad for us.
Maybe you say so.
Heck, we can try it. See what happens.
I don't
Yeah,
know if that's a good idea.
I don't want to be around when it happens.
I'm a math teacher, not chemistry, but I can tell you there's probably negative consequences that'll come out of that.
Keith wants us to check our posture. What do you guys want to do?
Reed, choose your poison.
Wait, you want me to drop this or not?
No, what are we gonna do? I'm sitting back. You guys are kind of figuring it out. What the hell are we doing with this crevice?
It's a 10-foot gap in the path. You can see the path continues to the other side, just barely, but it's like a 10-foot gap.
We can just jump over.
10 feet.
You can certainly try.
10 feet.
Yeah.
I'm 8 feet tall. I'm pretty sure I could take a running jump and
Yeah.
clear that.
Go for it, big sis.
Do you want to?
I'm not sure how to help everybody get across after me, but
Listen, sometimes, you got to push forward with your life and leave your high school friends behind,
Can we take the dead body of the bear and stretch it across the gap?
Well, the dead body of the bear is down the 65-foot cliff wall that you just climbed up. So I'm not sure how you would get it up here. So jumping and leaping, just so you know, after moving at least 6 yards in one turn with a successful athletics test, you may jump horizontally 1 yard for every 3 points of brawn bonus.
my brawn bonus is 9.
Okay. There's probably,
I ain't getting across.
I don't know if there's 20 feet. There's probably about 10 feet, so I'd probably make the difficulty test a little bit harder. I'd probably make it like a challenging test, but you can certainly jump across.
Is there any felled tree trunk or something that we could throw across?
No, you're in a cave.
Make a little...
What kind of asshole puts
The elusive
trees
trees.
in an underground dungeon? What kind of moron? What kind of unthinking, no imagination jerk would do that?
Cave trees.
What do you want to do? I'm going to go ahead and switch this back. Oh, you know what I should do? I got an idea. So what do you guys want to do?
So, Anything else in this barren cave?
No, it's just a cave.
It's nothing.
Oh,
Okay.
barren cave. Look at you. Look at... There we go. That's better. Okay.
Okay, so are we going forward or no?
Do you have a way?
It's 10 feet across. It's not so bad.
Is there a way to scale down it?
You probably could, but you're getting warmth and weird gas coming up from below.
Oh my god, this mountain's farting.
God damn it.
What did you say the bonus was to jump again?
Your brawn
Just
bonus.
had it up. So basically, you got to run, and then you leap, and you can jump 1 yard for every 3 points of brawn bonus. So as long as all of you have a brawn bonus of 3 or higher, you can make the jump. Assuming you pass the test, of course.
You can jump 1 yard for every 3. So if you have 9 brawn bonus, you can jump 3 yards.
Oh, for every 3 points. I'm sorry, my bad. I got that bad.
Yeah, I can't make it.
I
can
think
only-
Big Sis is the only who can make it, and
Yeah.
But it's 10 feet, so it's 3 yards.
yeah, I'm making it easy math. So we'll say it's 9 feet because it's 3 feet.
Not good at mathing at all.
Maybe you can make it over and harness. some
Hold
sort
on,
of rope.
guys. Let me crunch these numbers.
There is nothing more
Check
enjoyable in my life than watching Melissa do math. It is just adorable. It's so great. It's so good. Oh man.
And this is the only way we're moving forward, right? Like there's this thing we got to get to.
No, it's not
other
the only
side.
way. I mean, like
That's-
you got to
I mean,
go
we
back.
could literally leave
You have
and
to
then
go back and
up.
find other things, but yeah. This does, this seems like a promising path. Like it's taking you underneath where you need to go. You're trying to find a way to sneak into a fortress that had reinforced. You never went and scouted yourself what the front of the fortress looked like, but from what you heard, there were ghouls and shit out front.
Yeah,
So
like 3 dozen.
you're looking for like a back way in or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Big Sis could just make this gap here. We can harness a rope. We can climb.
All right.
this.
Just jump, you wuss.
We've got 4.
Here we
You got
go.
4 damn fortune points. You'll be fine.
All right,
If
what's
somebody
the difficulty?
donates 300 bits for coincidence, I'll say there's a ladder nearby.
There we go.
Like, oh look, there's a ladder. You could just crawl across the ladder. Look at that. I'll be darned. All right. So what do you want to do?
What's the difficulty?
We'll make it. Well, let's make it standard.
All right. And this is what's the test?
I'm sorry. I just was looking at Friendon's question. It's athletics. Why would someone make a bra out of LG? Okay. All right.
It's a pass.
All this talk, and finally you just and leap across, and you land on the other side. And then you realize you forgot to hold the rope, and that was the last anyone ever saw of Big Sis. But yeah, there's a rope. You're on the other side, and one by one, everyone kind of makes their way across. Oh, thanks. Chrissy gave us the 300 bits, so we'll save that. We'll tuck that coincidence in our back pocket, and then if there's something that you guys want to try to do later, we can use it for that. But one by one, you all get across. So as you continue, you realize that oh man, Keith
Ooh.
just shit. Now there's,
We've got
there's 2 coincidences.
double coincidences.
Shit.
I think that cancels
The
out.
coincidence is you find the baby bears and they're crying.
I
for
like
the
to
mother.
No.
No.
I like to think Keith donated them to me for a negative coincidence. That's what I think.
So just cancel each other out.
So as Big Sis jumps across, she gets across, and that's great. But unfortunately, there's a lava pit on the other side, and she just lands right in it. But no, you guys get across, and you've got 2 coincidences in your back pocket. As you continue to move down this cave, you start to notice some signs of old beams and reinforcements, as if you are wandering through.
For a second, I thought you said beans. I'll be honest. Old beans and reinforcements.
Gabe, of course I would believe you, Papa Provo. Of course. You've never lied to me ever. So you start to see reinforcement beams, like you're like in a part of a mine. You see like these old like carts filled up with coal, or not coal, like kind of crude iron or something like that. And eventually you notice that there's probably about a 15-foot like width to the tunnel that you're now in as it begins to widen, and you come face to face with this kind of peculiar and complex piece of machinery that's suddenly blocking the way forward. You notice that one of those reinforcement beams has collapsed, has kind of broken down in the center, and the entirety of the cave ceiling has collapsed on top of this machine, and it seems to have kind of pushed down on the roof of that machine, and it kind of blocks the way forward. When you look at it, it has like rusted drill bits and gears, and it's hard to see, but you think there's a body laying and sitting inside of it. It almost looks like something that someone was operating, maybe something that helped with digging or something like that. But it's blocking your way forward.
The whiz-bang doohickey of beep booping.
Oh, Keith gave me misfortune. Suck it.
But he gave 300, which means that you get a misfortune and we get a fortune.
Nope, that's not how that works.
That's how that math works.
Nope. It
I'm
means
just saying,
I
there's
get a
an extra 100
misfortune,
sitting
and
there.
the Zweihander channel gets 100 bits.
Hold on,
so-
let me check Melissa's math.
I don't think that works.
Checks out.
I don't want to alarm you, Justin. There's like a black cat that's walking back and forth behind you. You might be in trouble. But yeah, you've got this big piece of crazy machinery in front of you. What do you want to do?
I guess scout it out. Look at the person and see what's going on with this machinery.
Okay. When you realize you kind of climb on top of it, and like a lot of these, I can't believe I'm going to say this, levers kind of snap a bit as you start to move, as the
Did you
rusted
say
metal.
levers?
Yeah, it just starts to snap. All of them are now broken. He just completely butchered them. There's no more levers left. They're all dead. But there's also gears and such. And you notice that there's some kind of protective windshield that it's cracked, but it's intact. I can't believe you shared that intimate detail.
Is there
about
any
levers.
way into the actual device? The door?
You would need a break through the windshield, and you could probably climb in through the front.
I'll hit it with the gun butt of one of the flintlocks I have.
Yeah, so you just go ahead and do that, and you see the glass starts to radiate, and you just push a little bit, and it collapses inward. And you get this wave of just dust come pouring into your face. You can't smell it, but you are coughing in a bit of a fit. And you can see that there is a person slumped over on top of all these different mechanisms inside the cab, like the cab of this strange machine. Their body is fairly desiccated, almost mummified in some ways. There's still a little skin to it. And you can see that there's you could all kind of climb through the whole thing if you want. Like it's almost like you're climbing in through the front of a truck and then out through the back of the rear window of a truck into the bed and out the other side. You all could kind of squeeze through that if you wanted to.
Is there any identifying marks of who the hell this person was? If it was a ghoul, it was
Roll a scrutinize test. Standard's fine.
Another one who reads clan or something.
Probably the Honduras.
That's a pass.
So I'm doing another. Oh, boom! Look at that transition. You notice that the only real identifying mark thing they have is you pull out this dusty little knife that they have, and you notice on the kind of the pommel it has that similar etching that you saw in the writhing temple when you all looted a pretty nice looking axe weapon outside of it, and it was identified as within the town or within the fortress of Durier's walls. There was actually there's a fairly well-known smith. This dwarven smith. She specifically made certain weapons, and this kind of has her seal on it. It's a very nice looking weapon. The blade's a little kind of dirty, but you can go ahead and tuck it away as a knife if you want. But it does not look like a ghoul. They look like they've been dead for quite some time.
the machine is pretty well trashed already because of the falling.
Yeah. I mean, you
Heading
can climb
that fell.
through it. It's a little dangerous. You're squeezing, but you can certainly get through it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the machine is not going to be able to be used again.
The knife's out of the damage bonus, combat bonus, right?
It should be. It should be just CB. I'll look it up. I mean, I'll get you the stats for it later.
Can I crawl
Let's
through
go.
my 8'8"?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have to roll a test, but
Bigness.
yeah. Everyone go
Forward.
ahead. If you're trying to squeeze through, just roll a toughness test.
Passed it.
Pass.
Pass.
Okay. Sylvester, as you're going
Arts.
through, your kind of arm gets caught on some sort of split piece of metal, and you take a nasty scrape along your side. You can go ahead and take 13 points of physical peril. As the minute you feel the scraping happen, you quickly shift, and then you can feel in doing so you bump one of the support structures of the roof for this vehicle, and the ceiling of the roof sags a little bit further, and you feel yourself getting squished even more. But you're
Are we going to have to waste our coincidence on a tetanus shot for Sylvester?
No.
I mean, now you are. But you make it out, all of you, one by one, and you notice that you're in a fairly large room. And you look all around. It looks to be some kind of the remains of a mining node. There's all sorts of tools and equipment. There's a variety of tables that have been set up, all sorts of like old mining equipment, and you can see that there's a few bodies that are just laying all around, and there's like this gusty breeze that constantly like kicks through, and every time the breeze comes in, like it's kind of unsettling. You guys, it almost sounds like something's whispering in your ears. When you look around, you can see that there's sort of two paths that lead out in addition to going back through the machine. One of them seems to lead upward, and the other one seems to lead kind of downward.
I think we can go further down, right?
No, you would be going up.
No. Yeah.
That I'm not saying that which path is the right one to take. I'm just saying you're going up towards the fortress.
Oh.
Were you looking for something down underneath?
No, I thought it was further down for some reason.
Oh, okay. Then up we go.
Okay. So you start passing through, and as you do, like you start moving into this more narrow hall. You hear something move, something just sort of shuffle. Who was out in front?
Sylvester had the torch.
Okay.
It was me until
Okay.
not Nelly. Big Sis jumped across, so I don't know who's in front now.
That's why I'm asking.
I can be out front.
Okay, Big Sis, you're out in front. And who's bringing up the rear?
Well, Sylvester got caught on the machine, so are you still in the back, Sylvester?
Yeah, I guess I'm in the back.
As you guys are moving, Big Sis, you're leading the way. Nelly and Reed, you're following up behind. You turn around, like you're probably talking, being careful. Sylvester, you feel something tug on your foot, and you look down, and you can see that one of these bodies, the arm, the hand, the skeletal hand with a little bit of like mummified flesh around it, has reached out and grabbed your ankle, and it's just sort of hanging onto your foot. And as you yank your foot free, it just doesn't seem to want to give.
I guess I'll shine the light down on it and see what's going on.
It's everything I just said. There's a body with an arm reaching out, just kind of grasping onto your hand, or onto your grasping with its
Does it
hand
seem
onto your foot.
sentient, or is it just kind of like this
No.
thing's stuck on me?
It's just like a mannequin that just happened to grab you as you walked past. At least that's what it seems like.
Can I knock it off with the torch?
So you swing the torch down at it, and it doesn't seem to have it. Like you hit it with the torch, and you can see that the clothes that had still been on immediately catch on fire. Like this stringy, dried hair that is coming out of the scalp of this creature bursts into flames as well. The skin starts to cook a bit, and it smells awful. Not that you would notice, because you don't have a sense of smell anymore. But that arm just seems to stay connected. As the fire continues to travel, like you can see that it covers all the clothes, and then you realize that on its foot, it's kind of tethered to a piece of rope, and that kind of bursts into flames as well. There's like its foot was caught in some rope, and as you move your leg, you're just dragging the whole skeleton with you.
Can I cut its arm off or its fingers off with my new knife I got?
Yeah, so you reach down, just start prying it loose, and you can see that on your ankle where it grabbed you, you can see that there's these little dark lines where the fingers lined up around your ankle.
Big sis, you mind taking a looky at this? What the hell is going on with my foot, sis?
What happened? What?
This nice fellow here decided to get a little grabby with my foots, and now I got some black marks. Could you figure out what the hell just happened?
I mean, I can try folklore or something to see if I've ever heard of skeleton
be a heal
hands
check?
leaving.
Can it be a heal check?
It
though?
doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but it's biological in nature. Could be a heal check.
Biological. I mean, you can roll a heal test, but what your heal test is going to reveal is that
Absolutely nothing.
it's probably best that you cut the leg off.
I know.
I think that's what you
Oh
should
my
do.
god!
I'm really just gonna poke at it and be like,
Yeah.
"Does that hurt? Does it hurt where my finger's poking you? You're fine."
Yeah.
Your humor's out of balance.
Does anyone
Oh,
have any
look
folklore?
at you. Oh, wonderful. That was good, Ashley. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not bothering you. Your ankle feels fine. Doesn't burn, doesn't sting. Just got these.
Does anyone
Is there
have any
anything else
high
that I can do
folklore?
if he told me like it was like a skeleton that grabbed him and now he's got a dark mark? Is there anything that I can roll to
I
see
mean,
if
you
I've ever
would-
heard a story like that?
You have never heard of a very precise story of a random person being grabbed in a middle of nowhere mine. No.
I'd like to point out the last time you guys encountered the Hunderies, there were those weird, don't you remember the black shapes that chased you?
That's not what this is. This is just
The
like a very
shadows.
literal, like, desiccated corpse grabbing onto your
Yeah.
ankle.
Which you lit on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's better if I take it at the knee, so I'll just wait a little bit.
You
I
know
like
that,
playing
like,
time.
grave robbing.
We're not napping again. You do not get a nap right now.
Could you guys give me top 20 real quick?
You guys already passed the final save point, so like it's over. The final save point was like coming into the cave.
I'm going to tell you to like throw some of the stuff from your jars on it and let's move on.
Yeah, you would know that grave robbing, there's diseases and such, sure, that you could potentially. It's a very dangerous
I
profession.
guess I'll have to disinfect.
Oh well, thank you, Jake, for helping these fucking players out. That's great.
Thanks for helping these
Such a-
motherfuckers out. I appreciate it.
Such a kind gesture. No, seriously though. Thanks for the bit. Okay.
What else is in this room before we leave it, by the way?
When you look around, it's mostly just mining tools. From what you can tell, it looks like this was sort of a setup. Looks like there's a table that probably that you can see the bits of parchment that have been like nailed down into the table itself, but like the parchment has been long faded and decayed, like it was maybe a map of the mine or something like that. You can see that there's there's a couple tables, there's a couple tools, there's a couple other bodies as well, but nothing else.
Okay.
Can I grab one of the like mining pikes just to see if maybe we might need to use it as like a python leader or something?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't trust these too much. They're pretty old and rusted.
Oh, okay.
You can probably get a swing or two out of it for sure, but using it as something to climb, that's probably a very dangerous proposition.
Okay.
Okay, so are we going up the path or down the path? Which way do you want to go?
Big Sis's vote is up.
Okay. So thus far, you guys have really noticed that, like, you seem to be in some kind of underground mine that's leading upwards. And as you travel down this corridor, you again see more of those reinforcement beams, mostly intact. It's probably about another 15 to 20 minutes before you come to what looks something entirely different. It looks like there's just all sorts of hewn, beautiful block stone that has just collapsed down into this fairly massive cave opening. You can see that it's some of these big blocks are as large as Big Sis. They're like 6, 7, 8 feet long. Definitely something that people have worked on, like probably something that people have shaved away. Like, these are foundational blocks of a building. And you can see that they've all kind of collapsed into this big heap that's got to be at least 100 to 200 feet in sort of diameter, and it's all kind of all over the place. There's all sorts of other things in the rubble here and there as well. Go ahead and roll a awareness test. Everyone but Sylvester.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Reed and Nelly, the two of you, you get the first scent of it before it kicks into Big Sis. You smell. It almost smells like the alleyway behind a butcher shop, where they've kind of dropped their meat carcasses and such that they're not using. It just smells like rotten meat down here. And a moment later, Big Sis, you notice it as well. Sylvester, strangely enough, this doesn't really bother you. As you can see, the rest of them are kind of coughing and almost doubling over. You also notice that there are a lot of like metal, not spikes, but poles or posts that seem to be mixed in with a lot of this stone rubble. But it's a massive cave opening, and there's all sorts of stone rubble around and some horrible, fetid, rotten meat smell. What would you like to do?
Does this smell sort of all over, or is it? Can I narrow it down to a place?
It's in this cavern. It's in this area. So you know that it's coming from that giant pile of rubble that just seems to be all sorts of undulating chunks of stone and pillars and broken floor that has likely collapsed down into a sub-cavern beneath it.
Maybe move in closer, see what we can
Okay.
find.
Okay, so you start moving a little bit closer.
Raid.
Oh, thanks for the raid, Dice Tyrants. Appreciate it. Ooh, gift subs. Friendin is gifting subs. That's so kind. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Raid. Okay. They're coming in right as I'm about to describe some really gross shit. So good timing. So you have probably concluded that you are underneath a building, underneath some sort of structure, and you like the foundational pillars and posts and floors and the subfloors have collapsed down into this cavern below. Sir Frendon is your mother's maiden name? That's weird. Frendon, Sir Frendon. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like it. But as you start moving in, Reed, you start to notice the source of the fetid smell. As you're squeezing through some of the stone pillars, you're pushing past what look to have been maybe dungeon cells, maybe like a basement or a cellar of a fortress. You would think a fortress that had once militaristic value. Probably not uncommon that they have dungeons, and you can
That would
see,
explain the metal bars.
you can see a lot of this broken and twisted stuff. But that's when you push through and you're kind of getting away from the dustiness of the cave. You see that almost like a sinkhole. When you look up, there's this massive hole in the cave above, like in the ceiling above, and you can see that the stone has collapsed inward, and there's still pieces of floor that are on a slant and kind of clinging to other structural reinforcement beams and such, to the point where you might be able to climb up. But when you look in the center of that sinkhole, you can see a pile, like an anthill, and you hear the squeaking of rodents and other creatures moving about. And you see a pile of bodies and body parts. And it's got to be 15 feet high. Maybe about, as you're looking at it, kind of maybe 30 feet in diameter. And I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll a challenging resolve test.
That just read.
They hit the floor and they just burst right through the floor, Jen.
Is everybody or just Reed?
He's the only one who said he moved up. The three of you have not announced that yet. So.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. That's a guile test.
I have gallows humor.
Oh, right on. Okay. So you steal your stomach a bit, and you can see there's a pile of just bodies and body parts. You're still, we'll put you maybe 15, 20 feet away from it. When you call everyone else over, you guys see the same thing, and all of you can go ahead and roll your challenging resolve.
Okie doke.
Man, I fail.
Okay. It's a fail for Nelly, a fail for Sylvester. Big Sis? Big Sis, you're indifferent, right?
Yeah, I am indifferent.
All right, then don't worry about it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it would count.
It's pretty gruesome, but, So, you guys see this big old pile, and we'll go ahead and tap in one of your coincidences here and say that part of the floor above and the cages have like kind of dropped in a way that almost kind of creates a ladder. Like you can just kind of very easily climb up without much effort. So there's one of your coincidences. But when it's just massive pile. Is anyone moving up to it? You can see there's like rats scuttering about. There's some other kind of rodents here and there. None of them seem aggressive towards you, but they're going and pulling and peeling something apart. But this thing's 15, 20 feet across and 15 feet high. Sorry, Reed.
Oh, I'm here, so I'll get closer.
When you move up, you can see there's very few intact bodies. It seems to be more parts, pieces. You see rib cages with only bits and pieces of flesh remaining. You see bones with a little bit of kind of tendon and tissue at the nubs. You can see, like wholesale like legs just kind of laying about, burnt in many ways. The rest of you kind of come up and look as much as you want. You hear a groaning,
Oh god.
like someone breathing absolutely terribly.
I'll try and find out where it is.
Okay. You look about, and you can see like buried beneath about like 3 feet, like halfway, well, more than halfway up this pyramid of just remains, this horrible, disgusting remains, like just the day after Thanksgiving, everyone threw their turkey in the same place in the landfill. You see an old man's head lying backwards. The body, like his torso, his legs, his waist, kind of buried halfway into the pile. So you see him sort of like sticking out here, and he's like looking up, but his head's drifted back. His eyes are there, and he's just. His face is covered in blood.
I'll try to hold his head up a bit and see if he's conscious at all.
Come up there and cradle it, and he and his eyes open. You can see that there's like blood where the whites should be, scarring on his face, and he's conscious but in serious and utter pain. You also recognize him. All of you recognize him as Irving Bluebetter, a very old man who was in charge of of Fort Akron the very first night that you arrived, and was also cursed. He was a little bit cowardly and nervous, but this is that old man, and he's just laying there, half buried in the pyramid of these bodies, remains, I should say. You don't really see. This is the only like complete that you see, and he's just. And you hold his head up, and he looks at you, and you're not sure if he sees you because his pupils and his eyes are dilated, his eye sockets are filled with blood, and he says, "Kill me."
Yeah, man, I'll do so.
Okay.
Just a quick little
This is so
stab.
nonchalant.
You're
Oh,
so
okay.
cheery about that. Good gracious.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Not cheery, but
Pill
like,
you? I don't have any pills.
So you want in the head? What do we want, buddy? We want me to get.
Kill. And as you kind of pull him down a little bit, you can see that as you pull him down, like all of his body from like his thighs, from like just underneath his waist down are gone. So you're just kind of pulling him out, and he's got these burn marks where like his thighs should be, his legs are gone, and he's got no coloring left in his skin. The fact that he's probably gonna die within the next hour anyway, but you could end his suffering now. He seems somewhat coherent. The ending of Lost. You see, I actually didn't mind a little. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into it. Never mind. I'm not going to go down that path because I actually think it's better than people say. But whatever.
I'll see if he's willing just to tell us what happened before I put him out.
He says, they feasted on us, and he sort of just kind of panics and drifts. And when you look at him and you look at the rest of the bodies, roll a scrutinize test. His legs are cold. Gotta kill him.
Oh, if it's standard, I would have passed.
Okay, standard's fine. Okay. You notice that all up and down his arms, chunks of his arms are missing. You can see big old bite marks. You can see in some of the corpses and other pieces around, like this is literally when I said the day after Thanksgiving when people throw their turkeys, they're empty. This is what this is. This is like the garbage disposal.
I see. And I'll just take him out.
Okay, so you just, how do you do it? Do you do the whole cover his nose?
Just a little, my base lard back of the head.
Okay, so you just right in his back. Thank you. And he kind of collapses to the ground. But yeah, you look around and there's just not much here, other than what I've already described. What do you want to do? You would probably be able to conclude that upstairs, climbing up that broken sort of metal poles and foundation, you might be able to climb up. Like you'd think the fortress, or at least some part of it, is up above you.
And now we have this coincidental ladder of sorts.
Sort of. I was gonna make you climb up the dead bodies and such, but someone gave you 300 bits, so there's this. I think it was Chrissy.
Let's go on up.
Nellie,
Yeah.
did you want to do something different?
No, but I want to be like, I want to do the whole where we kind of get up and peek
Okay. So all of you start to climb up.
But just the tops of our heads so we can just look with our eyes.
So as you start to climb up, you peek around. Go ahead and roll an awareness test. It's very dark, by the way. You don't see any light really kind of coming too much from above. But one of you I know is carrying a torch at least, and it's easy enough to kind of climb up and kind of keep the torch in hand. And up you go. Who is sticking their head out? Who's during the peeking their head out?
I forgot you said one of you. I didn't realize Ashley ruled. My bad.
Nelly did. I passed.
You all can do it. Okay, Nelly. You look around. Someone's, well, maybe holding a little bit of torch here and there. Yeah, I mean, 50 cents is like nothing for that sign. You should totally go buy that sign. It'd be great. You look around, and the idea of the dungeon starts to make more sense, as you can still see intact cells here and there where different wings of the dungeon didn't seem to take as much of the damage as possible. You also look up, and you can see that there is a decently large hole in the floor above you, maybe 15 feet to 20 feet tall. There's these fairly large pillars that are still intact, keeping the wings from completely collapsing. But right above the hole where that pyramid of remains are, there is another hole in the floor above you. And you can hear sounds cascading. And then as you're watching, you notice as like a rib cage is just chucked down from the hole, and it falls, hits the top of the pillar, and just falls down to somewhere else in the cave below. When you look around, it's just mostly dungeon cells in here, and you don't see anyone moving. There's like no one around. There's no light other than what you brought. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go look for a staircase up.
Okay. So you climb the rest of the way up, pop out. Is anyone else going, or are you all staying below?
We'll follow.
Yeah,
Here we go.
The pun game is so strong. Okay. So you start moving around. Are you doing this, I hesitate to ask, stealthily, or are you just...
I'm going to try.
We all will try.
Do or do not. There's no try. Go ahead and roll. We have like 5 fortune points. This is great. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
That's some next level shit.
That's a crit success.
Is
If
it?
it's standard.
It's another
if
crit
it's
success.
standard.
Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Look at all these crits. This is a shame. It's a shame you're wasting them with such an unimportant roll. Okay. Guys, move about. And when you look in some of these dungeon cells, you can see, much like below, like the long dead and starved and drained and desiccated remains of whoever was unfortunately in these cells when the landslide happened. You can see on the eastern wall, you presume it to be east, there is like the entire eastern wall is gone, and it's just this swelling of rock, of cave rock, that's taking it out. When you circle all the way around that giant hole in the ground that leads to the kind of the pyramid of remains, on the western side, you do in fact notice a intact stairwell that seems to be going up.
Somebody want to go scout up it?
All the while, above you, you can hear the sounds of stuff above you in the center of the floor.
So how much more lateral exploration could we do before going up?
The
or have
eastern
we pretty much done?
Eastern is blocked. To the north and south, there really isn't much. It's mostly just those cells on the north and the south side. So it looks like there probably would have been more to the east, but again, the landslide just kind of took half of that out. So there's really not much for you to look at down here.
Okay, if we've already checked the cells, then
You can go into the cells if you want, but when you peek in, you don't see anyone living in their dungeon cells, so you doubt there's treasure, because that makes no sense, and I hate.
No,
when games
just wanted
do
to make
that.
sure there wasn't anybody in them
Okay.
from the previous party.
Yeah, you see Grants. No, you don't. You're fine. What do you want to do? You want to go upstairs?
Yeah, we'll keep going up.
Okay. So you start moving up the stairs, and as you do, you can kind of look back, and for a very brief moment, you can almost see, kind of on this weird angle, up into the hole in the ceiling of the floor above you. If somebody would like to make an awareness test, at challenging to try to peer in and see at the angle what's up there. Okay, Reed, it's just not quite working for you. Nelly, you notice that there's tables, and there are dozens of figures moving about. You would probably guess maybe like some kind of feast hall, dining hall, something like that. What would you like to do?
What are those figures that are moving around?
Oh, you recognize them as feral ghouls.
Just checking.
We got a bomb or grenade. That'd be super sweet right now.
Defenders had a nuke in their game last week, but
Oh, gosh.
but you guys don't, so fuck off.
I do have a bottle bomb.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Oh,
I got
Just-
these
They had a
jars.
nuke. We've got a bottle bomb. And bottle bombs are good. Don't get me wrong, but like, bit of a drop off there. Okay, so you keep climbing up the stairs, and eventually you come to like the floor, the top floor. You can see that the walls are mostly intact. Some of the stone here and there is a little bit irregular. You see like a stone jutting out, or just a big block that has fallen out onto the ground. You can see all sorts of rafters have collapsed as when you look up on the first floor, one of the walls at the very top has started to fall over into the other, and like the wooden rafters that were keeping them kind of separated has fallen to the ground. There's tons of disarray. No one's cleaning up. They don't seem to have a maid service. You can see along the walls there used to probably be some kind of artwork or something that was displayed, but all of that's kind of fallen to the ground in ruins. As you come up to the top of the stairs, you can see that the stairs, there's like if you look off to your right, they kind of keep going upwards as if there's a second floor. You can also kind of hang a left and go down that hallway I just described. And then there to your right, near where this other large staircase is, there's this very small doorway that you can see that the top horizontal part has dipped down, and it now kind of looks like an M, like the whole thing just like this M that you can kind of get in if you wanted to.
So left or right or up?
Those are the three options.
M door or up? Those are my votes.
Long hallway, M or up?
I say M.
Okay.
Is that opening big enough to fit people through?
Yeah, I would say Big
Okay.
Sis would probably duck her head, but other than that, you can get in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We can take that way.
All right. So
Before we open the door, can I listen?
it's not a
at
door;
it?
it's a doorway.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you head over. Excuse me, not up. You head over to it. You duck down underneath and kind of slink in. And from what you can gather, it looks like some sort of servant area. Like there's like a kitchen area. You can see all sorts of old crates and barrels that have been destroyed by rubble. You can see parts of the cave on like have kind of bursted through on the southern portion of the room. You can see that there is a kind of a large walk-in closet of some kind where there's a pantry that's just been thrown to the ground. It stinks in here. This doesn't actually look used. There's all sorts of furnaces, like little stoves and such that are built into the wall. When you go near them, they don't look like they've been used in years. It's a fairly large room. There's knives all over the place on the walls, cleavers and such. but when you look around, there's no one really in here. There is another way out as you kind of circumvent around this large island, like butcher block area. And you're climbing over top of these busted crates and barrels, and it's almost like you're kind of doing like this big circle, and then you can pop out if you want to like this distant doorway that would have been at the end of that long hall that had the broken paintings and such. So it's like you went inside and then went all the way around. You kind of traverse like probably a good 40 feet or so, and you can like pop out again on the other end of that hallway if you wanted.
Yeah, we'll just keep going through.
Okay. When you pop out of that hallway, the sounds of kind of guttural communication seems to be kicking up. You hear burping, coughing, and you can see that off to your left, about 10 feet away, there is this archway across the hall. And then if you continue past it, it seems to go through what looks like a large wooden door. So, like you've come around, you can go across the hall and off to the left through a big old open archway through which the sounds of burping and clinking and growling and such are happening. Or you can just continue to go left past that open archway towards what looks to be a large door at the end of this long hall.
I think we'll avoid where all the commotion is.
Yeah, we'll
I
head towards
agree.
the door.
Okay. You would still have to sort of sneak past it, but I'll roll over your stealth tests. So you do your best to very carefully move as quietly as you can behind some of the fallen stones and some of the rubble in here, keeping yourself low to the ground. When you peek over, you can see that this is one of the entrances into what looks to be, confirmed, a very large feasting hall. There's all sorts of tables, much like Harry Potter, like these long rows, not as long as that, but long rows, and there are dozens and dozens of feral ghouls that are not in a very neat way. Some of them are just propped up on top of these tables. Some of them are on the ground, but they're tearing away and feasting away at meat.
What's in the room with them? Is there anything?
There's large staircase, or excuse me, there's large tables. There's like these chandeliers that are hanging from the ceiling, but it only looks like one of them is actually hanging properly. There's another that's kind of tipped off to the side, and it's hanging as if one of the chains on one side snapped. And it looks like you would imagine there would have been a third one, but that has probably fallen. And again, it's just a massive dining hall, probably 60 feet in length, and you got like 3 long rows of tables, and yeah, people are just eating all about. From what you can tell, it looks like there's a balcony from a second floor overlooking it.
We can always go back the way we came and then go up the staircase to the second floor.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea to walk in with all these ghouls.
Yeah, no.
You just walk in and be like, hey, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, so it's like it's double back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
head
you want to
upstairs.
ignore the door then that you guys were just saying you were going towards?
Just to get to the door, we have to go through.
Wait,
the...
isn't this...
You don't have to go through.
geez.
You're just going past. You're stealthing. It's fine. Like you're stealthing, you're sneaking, and you
Okay,
can
I
look
thought you
off to
meant
the
the-
right as you're
Oh.
going past now.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were going into the room.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. That's just an open doorway, and you could look into it as you're sneaking past. But you can keep going
Okay.
into the.
We gotta find their large supply of flammable oil as fast as possible. So let's keep moving forward.
Okay. So you get up to this door that is recessed into this hallway and out of sight of the entrance to that feasting hall.
It's just gonna be one of those like loud doors where like the second you try to open it, it's like creak.
It wasn't.
I mean, it is an old fortress, but it's a fairly big one. But you can open it pretty easily if you
Do
would
we
like.
hear anything coming from the other side?
Roll an eavesdrop test.
Pass.
Nelly, you hear the sounds of ting, ting, almost like it's like a blacksmith, and the sound of horrible, terrible screaming as if in pain.
This may not be the direction we want to go.
Nelly's gonna be like, let's.
Cut her head off. She says to cut her head off. Do it.
No.
Reed,
let's
cut her
not.
head off.
You want us to kill them all? Okay.
But yeah, it sounds almost like the sounds of a blacksmith tinking their hammer here and there, and the sounds of
Yeah, it's
someone
probably where
screaming in pain.
they're grafting the metal to their bodies, so probably don't want to go in there.
Interesting layout of your home. You have your dining room, and then immediately next door you have your torture chamber.
I do want to remind you that half of a mountain fell on top of this fortress, and so it's not entirely laid out the way it used to be.
Sure. Made the best of what they had.
Let's double back though and
Isn't
head
this where we
upstairs.
want to go? Because if there's screaming and people in here, this is where we gotta be.
Mind you, we're super duper outnumbered. We're just trying to like get like info right now and be smart about it.
So if we were to go in and close the door behind us, how in earshot, like, could we have a whole like scuffle in here without the whole dining hall hearing it? Or would it be like, if we're in this room having a scuffle, the dining hall is definitely aware?
So we just want to know the acoustics.
I don't think there's any way you would do that for sure. It really depends on what happens. Like, if you're fighting with somebody and they pull out a horn and blow a horn, then
How does the feng shui work here? Is it really positive energy coming through, or
No, there's no positive
Single
energy.
pane windows,
it's very
triple pane
balanced.
windows.
It's great.
Did you say this door was wooden or what?
Yeah, it's a big
was
wooden door. It's thick.
could probably easily take an axe to it? I think.
I like how that's the question. Like, this door is wooden, right?
Is there like any cracks or openings that I can peek through?
Sure.
What type of finish are we talking about? Is it oak, mahogany?
You look inside, and you can see the. Oh, Gabe says we gotta sit up. Oh, thank you, Gabe. My back's been killing me. As you look inside, this little crack in the beams that have been banded together, you can see a kind of an orange light down at the end of the hall, and a figure, not very big to be honest, maybe 4 feet tall, just slamming away. And there's like onto some sort of platform bed, because there's light because of that orange, like you can actually see down there onto, it looks like some sort of bed or a platform, and there's a person on it, and they're just slamming down onto it. And every time the hammer comes down, you hear this horrible scream coming out.
I'll convey what I see.
You would also see like there are a variety of rooms on either side, like doorways here and there on either side.
Are we going in and saving the torture victim?
I mean, we don't know if it's a torture victim or a ghoul getting modified.
We can double back if you want. That's fine.
I say we double back.
Okay, yeah, let's head upstairs.
Okay. So you start working your way back through the kitchen, back through the M-shaped door, and you go up the stairs. When you go up to the second level, you notice that some of the floors have collapsed. You can see when you get up, you can look to your right, you can look to your left, and you can look straight ahead. Straight ahead, it seems to take you like you can kind of actually see like a balcony. You would think that if you go straight ahead, you're kind of going down the long side of the feasting hall, looking down on it. You can see there's a kind of a tear in the floor of the balcony along the way, but you can definitely get a look down if you want it. To the right seems to take you towards some kind of cave-in. You can see like the roof, like the ceiling is collapsed, and it's just nothing but all sorts of stone, these blocks of stone. And you can see that to the left, and it takes you to the other side of the feasting hall, and what looks to be like another stairwell. But the one you on looks to be more like a servant stairs. That other one looks like this big, beautiful, like weaving, winding stair on the far side of the feasting hall. You guys are going up like probably the servant's entrance because it's fairly narrow, not particularly special. So, which way would you like to go?
So one way just has a collapsed floor I have to get over.
You might not have to. It might not. It's not like the 10-foot long crevice. It just looks like a piece of the floor has collapsed. So you just have to be careful. It's like halfway down. Off to the left would take you to the other side of the feasting hall, around which there looks to be a second balcony, which eventually leads towards some kind of stairwell. And it's hard to see what else might be over there because there's like pillars and shit in place. So
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
so it's not like both ways leading to stairwell, it's just that one way.
No, they both eventually would. It's like imagine the feasting hall is like one big rectangle, and you're going
Right.
up the right-hand side of the rectangle. But if you made a left, you could go up the left-hand side of the rectangle.
Right.
And then at the top of the rectangle is where that heavy, beautiful stairwell is.
So all roads lead to the pretty staircase.
It's just one way is the hole, and then the other one was, what was it again?
You don't know if the floor is intact over there. You can't see from here.
Oh, yeah. We'll check the path with that we don't know. See
Okay.
if the floor is okay.
Okay, so you start. You head left, and you start swinging to the left, and you're standing behind while there's balcony here. It looks like there's like these tapestries that are being draped down from above. That's kind of blocking great view of the feasting hall below, but you can hear it. You can hear people fighting, screaming, and slurping, and burping, and all sorts of different things. But as you get to the end of sort of the bottom part of this rectangular balcony, and you swerve around the corner, you get a much clearer view below. You notice that this particular run on the left-hand side of the feasting hall, there's a handful of doors. On the far end, there's that big staircase, and you notice that at the top of the staircase there is a kind of this ornate golden enameled door. It's like metal, but there's also like you can see it from here. It looks beautiful, and it's kind of partially open, and then there's all these just like smaller doors along the left. So as you're sneaking along the left-hand side, you can look down, and you see. Well, you see a lot of different things. You see maybe 30 to 40 different ghouls, most of whom look like the alphas, the ones you've been calling alphas, which are the ones that seem to kind of lead the smaller groups of those like kind of feral-looking ones, the ones that kind of run around on all fours. You also notice that at the sort of bottom end of the feast, underneath the tapestries, at the base of the tapestries, there's a raised dais where there is a rectangular table, and there's this large piece of meat in the middle of it, and then you can see that there's these incredibly big, muscular, metal grafted nemesis-like figures. And they are flanking a third figure that is sitting in what amounts to a throne of some kind. They are probably as tall as Big Sis, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", somewhere around there. They are the most gluttonous, enormous, fattest figure any of you have ever seen in your lives. They aren't even wearing a shirt. They've got to be 500 pounds, 600 pounds, maybe more. You can see that there's these sutures going down their skin in places that are kind of keeping the skin from ripping apart. You can see down the sides of one of the stomachs, there's this huge gash from which like kind of blood and viscera is starting to pour out. And when it does, you can see that this figure reaches this hand down with these huge, thick fingers, pulls it up, and flops it onto a plate right in front of one of those nemesis-looking individuals who reach down onto their plate and just begin to scarf and like they eat it. And almost in deference to this gluttonous figure, like they kind of bow. And you can see the bloody hand who just fed, like kind of pats them on the head almost like a good dog. There's this huge cleaver that's like sitting right in front of this fat, enormous, gluttonous figure. And they grab it and just like slam down and kind of cut into this cooked piece of meat. You imagine probably one of the families, and they kind of reach out and they start biting into it. And all around, like all of these different ghouls are doing the same thing. And I think we'll probably call it theirs. It's for us, it's 9:30. It's 2.5 hours. It's pretty good. And
Oh my god.
Shit.
Normally I would like just charge in head first to these sort of things, but this is kind of terrifying.
it's really terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
You guys, if you see, the thing is, if you guys lose, not only do you die, but they eat you. Did you think about that?
Yep.
What a way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh.
Let me go ahead and turn off this here music. Okay.
See, coming upstairs gave us the like view of what the hell is going on.
So guys, I think next week is our final show for Unsettled STEM, and then we get to start up our new game after that, which I'm excited about too. But
Oh my gosh.
this is it. You guys have reached, and you have seen like the witch told you to find and take vengeance on that who was responsible, and this person's sitting on a dais on a throne, feeding from their own distended and bursted belly pieces of themselves to these higher level commanders of these ghouls. And your job now is to kill all of them, or at least
Where's
some of
that
them.
nuke when you need it?
Sorry, it already went off, so you don't get to
Drop it on the mountain on this fortress.
There's an idea. No. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes next week. But I think, yeah, I mean, next week will be the end. Like we'll plan it for being the end. Even if we have to go a little late, we'll make it the end, just so it's a special night. So any of you who's watching, if you want to see how this ends, if you want to see if any of these fools survive, and if you want to see if some of these fools get eaten, tune in next week, 9 Central, same channel. Make sure you're following so you can get notifications and whatnot. Yeah. So once again, we are Adventures in Lollygagging. That's what that little thing at the bottom of the screen says. And we play a bunch of different games on the internet. This is one of them. This is the end. Next week. Well put. But we play a bunch of different games on the internet. Zweihander is one of them. Every Thursday on this channel, this wonderful channel we've been invited to play on. We also have another Zweihander show that we do. It's audio only. Yes, Dan did die. Dan was the guy that was actually being eaten by the big fat dude that was on the throne.
Oh.
So there you go. That was his name was Dan. So there you go. So other things, we also have another Zweihander game. So audio only podcasts. So wherever you get your podcasts, if you listen to podcasts, you should, because they're fun and they're relaxing, and you can do other things while you're listening to them. You don't have to just sit and stare at a screen the whole time. But you can. Excuse me, you can find them wherever you get podcasts. Just search Adventures in Lollygagging and you'll find us. You can also search for the Lollygaggers podcast. You can find stuff from me and Justin as we talk about all sorts of other nonsense. You can go follow our channel at twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers, where we play other games. This Saturday at 6 Central, Melissa, Long, Ashley, myself, and a couple of our other friends, we're going to be continuing our Mutant Year Zero campaign, which is a post-apocalyptic game and a lot of fun. On Monday over on our channel, we're playing Vesson, which is like a 19th century Swedish murder investigation mystery stuff with like supernatural elements and things like that. If you ever watched TV show Grimm, it's basically like that. So come check that out. On Sunday on twitch.tv/TotoriusDMGTV, I will be playing along with some of our other friends in a cyberpunk game where we use Shadowrun as the setting, but we're using a different system. So come check that out. It's a ton of fun. And so you can catch me in a lot of different places.
It's coming up on this channel.
And then, if you weren't here before, see this beautiful, it's right above us. Everyone point so they know. It's right up there. You can go ahead and buy this beautiful zine called Dan Dies in the End. This is the first issue of hopefully many. And there's a bunch of great content in that you can use in a lot of different your games. You can use some of that stuff in Zweihander, some of the other TTRPG games you play. We've got hirelings, terrible hirelings that you can throw in your games and have a lot of crazy fun with. We've got creepy little goblins and superpowers. We've got places you can explore, like a chicken dinner place. You can also go to some weird kind of automaton city. So lots of wonderful stuff in there, and great art. And it's only 50 cents if you follow the link that is in the channel right now. Go to the Drive-Thru RPG, look up Dan Dies in the End. You can grab it there for only 50 cents for the next couple of weeks. It eventually will be in print, and you can buy it for I think about $10 if you want to wait for that. But it's only 50 cents, so you might as well just get it now, and so you can kind of preview it for later. So, but yeah, we're really proud of it. So definitely purchase that. And that's it. I think that's all of the plugin I got.
What's going on this channel?
Tomorrow is not the Defenders. So I know because I think they're playing Joe's game tomorrow. So I'm not sure if Matt's got a game on here tomorrow or not. So I'm not really sure about that. So
Tuesdays is them Dave, you said?
What's that?
You said Tuesdays is them Dave?
Tuesdays, yeah, you can catch Tuesdays is Too Fast to Fumble right here, same channel. So lots of different Zweihander content. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, every other Fridays, the Defenders play their bloody marches. So if you haven't subscribed already to this channel, please do so. And then Matt runs a bunch of different games as well. I'm not sure what his schedule he's on currently though. And so that's it. Thanks for everyone who joined. Thanks for everyone who rated. Thanks for everyone who gave us bits and subs and all that kind of good stuff. It was fun seeing the chat channel so active. So hopefully you'll be back next week when we finish up this weird little adventure of ours. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you in a week.
Night.
Bye.